And welcome to the United Stand. This is, what is it? Well, it is a football match for Manchester United. It's the last football match of the season. It is Manchester United versus Cardiff. If you're here for the match reaction, the link is in the video description. And it is a rather weird game, isn't it? Let's be totally and utterly honest about it. I think we're very excited about the team news because that ultimately is what it's all about. Of course it is. We want to see this team. We want to see how Ollie has lined up. And I really hope, there's lots of things. I mean, we know that Matic, we know that Lindelof, we know that Shaw, we know that Herrera will not be part of the game today. So in that way, hopefully we're going to see, McTominay's and Fred's and people like that. But I really want to see Rashford not starting. I really want to see that. I want to see Rashford not starting for Manchester United. I want to see Mason Greenwood starting. And I think that is probably the big one for me because I'd love to see Chong, I'd love to see Gomez, I'd love to see Garner. But the big one is Mason Greenwood because of the season that he's had at Manchester United so far. It would be absolutely, he deserves to start this game. And I really hope that he is going to start it. We're going to know in the next 60 seconds. But yeah, I think it's massively important. I mean, this game means shit. It means nothing. Sorry. It means nothing. You know what? If Burnley draw or beat Arsenal and we beat Cardiff, we finish 5th. Wow, I don't care. And in a way, I'd rather finish 6th because it represents what a crap season it is. And I don't want some little bit of positivity because we come 5th instead of 6th. We deserve to be 6th. That's just the predicted lineup at the moment on the left. That's going to change very soon. I will not get this team right for Manchester United today. And I hope to get it wrong quite a lot because I don't want to get it right. I don't want to get it right. I want to get it wrong. But I definitely hope. I'd like to see Martial starting. I'd like to see a 4-3-3. But I think this could be Juan Mata's last game. I think it could be David De Gea's last game. So, look, it's just a predicted 11 at the moment. I'm refreshing away, trying to get the team news in. It should be coming in any second now. Why has my screen done that? Why have you done that at the most important point of the day? Come on. Don't piss about on today of all days. Okay, here's the final starting. Good. So Greenwood starts, Rashford starts, Lingard starts, Pogba starts, McTominay, Andreas Pereira, Young is captain, Jones, Smalling, Dalot, De Gea. So I'm not actually that far off. Garner's on the bench, Gomez on the bench, no place for Tahith Chong at all, which is surprising. He played so well last week. I mean, why would that be the case? So let's change that lineup for you. But Mason Greenwood starts, which is absolutely great, absolutely over the moon with that. Really pleased. Absolutely essential that he started today and really excited. Rashford, of course, should not be starting. No way, but the favouritism continues, doesn't it? Because you can see that Ashley Young's wearing the captain's armband. You can see Phil Jones starting football matches for Manchester United. These things shouldn't still be happening, but we're going to have to try and resolve that at some point, I suppose. So the confirmed team is De Gea, Dalot, Smalling, Jones, Young, Andreas Pereira, McTominay and Pogba, Lingard, Rashford and Greenwood. So it's a 4-3-3, which I'm pretty pleased with. But I'm a little bit disappointed not to see Tahith Chong even in the team, even in the squad. Obviously, we've got Gomez and Garner on the bench, which is a positive. I'll change the team for you all now because it's not exactly right. But to be honest with you, I'm pretty pleased with that. I only got 2 players wrong, didn't I? Mata for Lingard and Fred for Pereira. So that's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong finish by Goldbridge. That is getting 9 out of the 11 on a last game of the season where you've got God knows what we're going to do. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I will admit. Right, let me get this team changed for you whilst I have a look at some of the comments. Where's Gomez? He's on the bench. And Herrera not even picked, Kevin. We can talk about that in a minute. Where is Chong? Says just get against. Exactly, I don't know. Lindelof, Matic, Shaw, Herrera. We knew they weren't part of it. They weren't part of the squad yesterday. So we, rightly or wrongly, we did know that. In the case of Ander Herrera, I think it's wrong. I really do. Especially as Valencia's going to get some game time and he's done nothing for Manchester United this season, really. But that's the lineup, which I'm just about to change and get it up on the screen for you now. So the team is De Gea, Dalot, Smalling, Jones, Ashley Young, Andreas Pereira, McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford and Greenwood. So, yes, very, very Very, very pleased to see Mr. Mason Greenwood starting for Manchester United. Not very, very, very pleased, to be honest with you, to see Mr. Rashi starting. I think he's had his chances. Not very, very pleased to see Lingard starting. Again, I think he's had his chances. But I think what Manchester United have done here today is they're trying to be very clever about how they manipulate this situation. They don't want embarrassing walkouts. They don't want people at the end of the game walking out and not giving them a clap. So if you mix the team and you get Valencia on as well, then people will stay and clap. And that's what today's all about as well, isn't it? It's about trying to build a little bit of positivity at a time where I think we definitely need it as well. So Rashi's made it again. I mean, if any player needs dropping and resting, it's Marcus Rashford. But it just doesn't seem to ever materialise, which I do find a little bit funny. But for me, I'm going to stay positive because I'm very, very pleased to say that Mason Greenwood is starting. I'm just about to get you the new confirmed lineup because we were live before the lineup came out. I did get 9 out of 11 right. So there's your confirmed team. De Gea, Smalling and Jones, Dalot and Young, Herrera, McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford and Greenwood, which is the team. So there you go. No Herrera. No Ander Herrera. He's not even part of the bench. The bench consists of Sergio Romero, Valencia, obviously getting his send-off, Fred, Garner, Gomez, Mata and Martial. I think we will see Valencia and I think we will see Mata. So the reality is that leaves only one other substitution. Garner and Gomez, I wouldn't hold your breath that we're going to see much of them. I think we'll see Mata and Valencia off the bench because I think they're going to leave in the summer. And interestingly enough, if we look at that first team, this could be the last time we see David De Gea and Paul Pogba as well. I mean, we might see them both in August. It could be the last time we see them as well. I don't know. But very, very pleased that Mason Greenwood's starting. And I think, look, there's so much justified negativity with Manchester United at the moment. Don't ever feel that you're not right to have a moan. But at least we've got something positive today. We have got Mason Greenwood starting. We haven't got Matic starting. Yeah, we've got Jones and Young, but sometimes you've got to put up with the rain to get the rainbow. So hopefully it's going to be about attacking. Seeing Young as captain and the Chuckle brothers in the centre of defence and a no Herrera, Lindelof and Shaw in the squad angers me so much. Deadwood FC, says Alex Marmon. Antoine Elassi says, if you had to pick one player from this Liverpool squad and put them into the current United squad, who would it be, Mark? Love the channel. I'm a Liverpool fan. Well, I don't wish you any luck as a Liverpool fan. I need Manchester City to win today. But I did tweet out earlier, humility in defeat is important. And we've been defeated this season. We've been terrible. And I think Virgil van Dijk has been an absolute revelation. And I think, you know what? Maybe Fabinho in the Matic role would make us a better team. Maybe Salah in the Lingard role would make us better. Mane in the Martial role. Firmino in the Rashford role. These would all improve us. Definitely Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold instead of our fullbacks. But for me, it would be Van Dijk. And, that's all you're going to get from me in relation to praise of Liverpool. But he did win Premier League Player of the Year. And he would be the player that I would take. Lukaku is injured. All front six academy graduates, Mark. It's something. That is an interesting thing from Kejel Kimtrev. It is an interesting fact that all of the front six are academic graduates. Brad Walker, thanks for the contribution. I do think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has sent a message today with that lineup, and whether you like that message or not, I do think he sent a message. I think this is the team that he trusts. I think these are the players that he knows he gets the effort out of. Effort doesn't always mean talent, and it certainly doesn't in the case of some of those players on that pitch. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has picked his team there tonight. And it won't be his team in August. If it is, we're screwed. But I think he's gone with his team there. I think he's gone with the team that he trusts. Obviously, Lindelof's been left out and Luke Shaw's been left out. I think Lindelof's got a bit of an injury. I think Luke Shaw, whatever, I don't know what the situation is there. He's our player of the year. But I think I can't see any other justification. I think Marcus Rashford should not have played this game. I don't think Young should be playing. I don't think Jones should be playing. But yeah, there we go. Young, Smalling and Jones. Crap, smelly, poo, says Lewis Payne. I'm scared he's going to keep playing Lingard when bad, says Chief Sosa. There was a little bit of a rumour floating around the other day. There's a source, he's on Twitter now actually, I'll mention him on the transfer show tomorrow, who has always been quite highly regarded, and he was the first person to break the news about Delo and Fred last summer and the cola deal, on our shirts. And basically what he's saying is that United are after Daniel James, which I think they are. There's a very good chance that United are after Koulibaly, which I think I've always said I think that we are. And he also said that Lingard's on very thin ice at Manchester United. Now, what that means, I don't know, because I don't personally think any other club would buy Lingard. And I just don't think Lingard's going anywhere. So I think we have to hope that he does well. But I think the interesting thing about this game is that how well will Mason Greenwood perform? How will we line up? Do you think? I mean, I've put it as a 4-3-3 because we've got Lingard, Greenwood and Rashford. But we could play Lingard at the head of a 3 midfield, sort of like the 4-1-2-1-2. But I hope we do go to the 4-3-3. But Lingard likes to play more central, so I think we will play with the front two. Sean Tackett says death, taxes and Ashley Young. Yeah. I mean, how he gets away with the captaincy, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not happy that Ashley Young's starting, but how he does it, I don't know. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody, and subscribe if you're new. We're getting very close to 439,000 subscribers, the road to 500,000. We should be there by Christmas, hopefully. So please do subscribe and share the video. What I want to say personally is this season's been absolutely disgraceful from Manchester United. But as a fan base and a community that we have with United Stand, you've actually been fantastic. And as it's our last watch along of the season, I just wanted to thank all of you as well for getting involved. You're absolutely brilliant. And I know you'll be staying with us over the summer with all the transfer stuff, but it is the last game of the season. And to be honest with you, put your hand up in the air if you are happy that it's the last game of the season. I'm over the moon. I'm absolutely over the moon. I cannot wait to get a few weeks away from Manchester United playing football, to start thinking about next season and the transfers and the people going in and out the door. That's all I want to think about at the moment, and I think by the end of June, I'll be thinking, I'm looking forward to the tour and watching some of the, see if we've improved under Ollie and his training regime, and then going to next season. But as far as watching United playing football, I'm absolutely ecstatic it's over. Sick to the back teeth of these sets of players, to be honest with you. Gold, peace, prosperity. The earth is flat and Goldbridge rocks. Your opinion, please, on Spanish reports that Pogba has told his teammates that he's leaving this summer. If you want my opinion on this, don't cash it. Don't go down the bloody bookies and bet on it. I think Pogba's gone, and I'm starting to think De Gea's going to go as well. I know that Herrera and Mata and De Gea are very good friends. I think they'll all be gone. In 12 months, I think they'll all be gone. Whether they'll all go this summer or not, I don't know, but I think they will be gone. And I think Pogba wants to go. It's just whether he can get around the fact that his agent's banned. Who do you think will be away in the summer? Your opinion, Marks, as Philip Burton would. So, obviously, we know Herrera's gone. We know Valencia's going. I think Mata's going to go. I think Rojo and Darmian will go. So that's 5. And maybe Pogba and De Gea. And I think that'll be it, because losing 7 players is a lot of players. But we need to shed probably 10. I'd love to see Nemanja Matic go. I would hold a party. We'll do a United Stand party if he goes. He seems to just get away with it, and he's not part of our future. He's into his 30s now. He's slow. He's static. I'd love Matic to go, because it would mean we haven't got a donkey in the midfield anymore. But he doesn't even get mentioned, and he won't be going anywhere. But I would love to see him go. So yeah, I think this summer we're going to lose, obviously, Herrera at Valencia. I think Rojo and Darmian. I think Mata will go as well. And I think De Gea and Pogba could well go as well. And those last two are obviously, I think Herrera's a massive loss, but I think Pogba and De Gea, I think if Pogba and De Gea go, it's the symbolism of that. They are, whether they perform or not, and I don't think either of them have had great seasons, but they are both world-class players. And you take those two out of our team and we don't have world-class players at our club anymore. So it would be very symbolic for United to lose Pogba and De Gea, because they are the only two world-class players. But there was a poll in Spain today as to who should be Spain's number 1 goalkeeper, and I think over 80% voted Kepa. So De Gea, this won't be lost on De Gea. He's got to think about his career. Does he love Manchester United more than playing for Spain? Is Spain more important to him than Manchester United? Because if it is, he can't afford to be playing Europa League football, battling for 5th every season. He needs to be playing Champions League football, winning titles. Because, yeah, you know what? It shouldn't be about that, because there are footballers who are playing for teams in the mid-table of the Premier League who are better than our players. But it's always going to be about status. And I think if De Gea wants to be Spain's number 1, he probably needs to be playing Champions League football and winning titles to get that reputation back, because he's going to struggle to get it at United, isn't he? Could De Gea be a good deal at around 70 million, says Shavish Singh? I think David De Gea is probably worth about 100 million, but he's only got a year left on his contract, so Shavesh is right, it's probably going to be about 70 million. We will be keeping an eye on the other English games, of course. Everyone's kicking off at 3 o'clock. I have got no concern that Man City won't beat Brighton. Of course, if they draw or lose to Brighton, Liverpool will nick the league. And the way this season's been going, you wouldn't bet against it. But come on, Man City against Brighton, I can only see a Man City win there. So at least Liverpool won't be winning the league, hopefully. Sanchez should go, says Josh Williamson. Well, again, I knew, Josh, I knew I would miss some players, and you're right. Sanchez and Lukaku need to go as well. So add Sanchez and Lukaku, so that's 2. Herrera, Valencia, which we know are gone. Mata, Rojo, Darmian, Pogba, De Gea. You're up to 9. So, and Matic, make it around 10. And Dazu W says, I know it's last game of the season, but losing patience with Ollie playing Young and Jones. Why Chong not playing? Can't see Young starting next season. Yeah, look, very, very, very happy that Greenwood's starting, but starting to think the favouritism in the squad is real. Just look at the lineup, says Adu. How to watch the football? Is it on Sky? Because on mine it's not coming up, says Kane Harris. I'll speak to you about that in a moment, actually. So everybody's kicking off at 3 o'clock today. So that's the way it's going to go. In the UK, it's not on. We've got Dan, who's in America, who will be coming on to join me for the watch along. So yeah, that's the situation. So we'll be keeping you up to date with what's going on. And I am disappointed that there's no Chong in the squad. But look, we all want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be the right man for Manchester United. I think everybody agrees with that. But I've said this about Ashley Young a lot. People give Ashley Young a lot of stick, quite rightly. But he doesn't pick himself, and he doesn't bloody nick the captain's armband and say, I'm keeping it. You know, somebody gives it him. Wilf Chukwuchusi says, if Matic goes, well, Adam Matic have changed his name to Adam. Good point. Is Ollie trolling us with Young and Jones, says Akachuku Patrick Oswi. I think he genuinely likes them, Patrick. I really do. Where's Shaw and Lindelof, says Manchester Reds. I think they actually have been rested. I think that's the same with Matic, to be honest with you. Sports Betting 77 says Chong did get injured in training yesterday. There you go. I mean, that's the disappointing thing, isn't it? I mean, I think the positive is that we just got to think about Greenwood, haven't we? That's the positive. I would have started more than Greenwood, actually. I really would. Herrera is not a CDM, says Thomas Ailing. A couple of years ago, I actually thought he was, Thomas, and I think that is... look, maybe Pereira will go this summer. I don't know. I know he signed a new contract. When will United Stand FC game be published, says GR Diamonds 2000. Well, I'm wearing the United Stand FC black top today, and actually I should explain why I'm wearing it. You can buy it in the link in the video description. You can get the home one as well. If you want to be the best dressed man or woman in your town, get yourself a United Stand FC kit this this summer, because it's the only United related merch you can wear without getting laughed at. But in seriousness, you can buy it. The link's in the video description. But I'm wearing the black one because I wanted to wear black today. I think it is sort of mourning the fact that it's been a crap season for United, and mourning the fact that Ander Herrera's gone. I'm very disappointed about it. So and also, not just that, I also feel that black is the colour because I think it marks a very disappointing season for United, and we don't know what to expect in this summer either. I genuinely think we could lose De Gea this summer. I really do, and I think that today could be the send off for him that people aren't really aware of. I think De Gea could go. I really do. I think the thing that's pushed me over the edge with it is the fact that Spanish poll, you want to be involved. Wilf Chakuku says, is this the most disliked United side by their own fans of all time? It would be very interesting. A lot of people have said, do you think the fans will walk out in the 90th minute? Do you think they'll get applauded when they do the lap of honour? I know. Look, I know some of you have never been to Old Trafford. That doesn't mean you're not a United fan. I'm a very, very strong fan of that. That you don't need to go to Old Trafford to be a United fan. You should try and get there if you can do, but not everyone can afford to do it. But what I would say is somebody who's been to Old Trafford many times, and I don't think there's much chance of that United Old Trafford crowd not applauding them on an overlap. I'm thinking about F1 on a lap of honour. I think that they definitely will do. So if you're expecting that, I just don't think United will do that. But I do think it is definitely it's definitely for me the most disliked United side I've ever had. Jack Webb, Mark, which signings do you think we'll make? If we get Bruno Fernandes, could tempt Pogba to stay. If Sanchez leaves, will all our dressing room lift? I think Pogba, it's about not wanting to be part of another rebuild. I think Pogba, it's about wanting to go and get his prime years in a prime club. Probably the same as De Gea. But they could both stay. I'm just concerned that they're going to go. Bruno Fernandes, factually, is a player that United want to get, but they may have to get in line. We're not an attractive proposition, and if a better club goes in for him, I think he'll go there. TL says, Mark, who do you think will play as the defensive midfielder, as Herrera and McTominay are quite attacking? Also, what's your opinion on Jack Grealish? Jack Grealish is a good player. I don't know whether he's the right player for United at this time, to be honest with you. I would prefer to see Herrera playing as the CDM, because I think McTominay's just a little bit... He's better off just running around, McTominay, is my opinion. Is Shaw out because there's an all-you-can-eat buffet at his local Indian? Not judging the little chubster. Off to myself, one myself later, says Duke Media UK. I think that's fattest, but you did make a contribution. And Steve Howard, sad that Ander doesn't get a send-off, a true red. I think that is down to personal opinion. Of course it is. But I think that Ander Herrera 100% deserved a send-off from Manchester United. Obviously, he's not been given one, and I'm very, very, very unhappy about that. But it is what it is. It really is. And we'll have to just crack on with it. Marcus, can you hear me?
How are we doing, mate? Afternoon, everyone. All right.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Mark?
Let's see if we can sort this out. Hello, mate. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. I had the wrong setting on there. I knew it was me. How you doing, pal? Last game of the season. Yeah, I think a lot. I think that the fact that Mason Greenwood's starting is, we should just be thankful for small victories, really, because of course I agree with everybody. The fact that Phil Jones and Ashley Young is starting is disappointing, but he could have just started. He could have started Mata and we wouldn't have seen Greenwood. So it's good that he's starting. I mean, Brandon Slaughter says, no send-off for Herrera. Chuckle Brothers playing, Young playing again. This dysfunction radiates from this club. I'm losing faith in Ollie. And Jared McCormack says, with Huddersfield going down, would you take Aaron Moy at United? Could be the glue to help in the midfield. God, no. God, no. No. Thanks for the contribution, but God, no. There is a certain level of player you need. And do you think that any club... Do you think Leicester would want Moy? So why would we want him? But yeah, going back to there, I mean, do you have any concerns about Ollie and his... I'm very surprised that Herrera's not getting 10 minutes at least today. I mean, I know they did the video on Twitter, but come on. I mean, it just seems a bit like sour grapes to me because, and it's the club's fault anyway. Apparently, Marcus, people can't hear you, so I'm not actually 100% sure why that would be the case, because if I can hear you, people should be able to hear you. It's probably something to do with my end here. Yeah, I'm just trying to try and sort this out now, because a lot of people said that they could hear you, and now they're saying that they can't hear you, so... really useful, but something's obviously gone wrong here, so let's have a look. No, it's all right. It'll be something. It'll be something. I can hear you now. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, but I just don't understand why nobody else can hear you. It's a bit weird. Let's see if this makes any difference.
Always try to keep me down, isn't you?
Well, it's weird. It's just, I suppose, in many ways, it's typical of the season that we've had that it just starts doing this, like when we've never had any problems before.
Yeah. Can't give me my last hurrah for the season. But yeah, I think it's like you said there. I think it's disappointing that.
No, they can't hear you, mate. They can't hear you. Which is a bastard because we need this to bloody work. Oh, we can hear you now. No, they can hear you now. They can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
Good. So yeah, we were talking about the Herrera and the send off, and I was saying it's a bit of sour grapes, really, in relation to the. I'm very surprised that he's not getting 5 or 10 minutes, but I do think it's down to the club being a little bit sour grapes, and ultimately they've let his contract run down. I've read a lot of things actually over the last 24 hours. I mean, a lot of people I think were really upset about Herrera going, but then it changed a lot to, why are people feeling sorry for him? He just wants more money. They clearly don't understand what goes on at United, and the evidence is there. We let contracts run down, and I would challenge anybody to go into work tomorrow and their boss says, no, I'm not giving you a pay rise. Not giving you a pay rise. I know you're very good, but I'm not giving you a pay rise. And then somebody else knocks on the door and says, yeah, we'll double your wages. We really want you. And then you're going to go, aren't you? I mean, I think that's what Herrera basically said. Red's always in my heart. I love this club. It's sad to go. You read between the lines. He's not going because he wants to go. He's going because our club is run very, very badly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been messing about for the last few months trying to get Mata signed, giving new deals to Jones and Ashley Young, and we've focused really on the old boys instead of the players that we need that I think are quite integral to the club, and they get what the club's all about. Herrera has been a massive part of that for the last 4 or 5 years. He allows Pogba to play. He gives an assurance to that midfield. I do think he was probably captain material as well, which he didn't really get his chance at it. So yeah, it's the club's fault, definitely. And hopefully now that he is going, and it is confirmed that he's going, that Ollie and the management team bring in a suitable replacement now, because we're talking we need 1, possibly 2 in the middle of the park. But now Herrera's going, we're going to need another one, so that'd be 3. If Pogba goes, we're going to need 4. So the summer can't come quick enough for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, welcome to Craig Hewitt and welcome to Spice Riot, the latest two members of the United Stand Members Club. Remember, if you do become a member, you'll get a little badge next to your name. Your name will be in green. You get access to all the emojis and also all the polls on the community homepage, of which there'll be plenty over the summer because of all the transfer news and everything like that. I mean, talking about opinions, Marcus, I've had my say on De Gea and Pogba. Do you think we'll keep both? Do you think one of them will go? Do you think both will leave? Where are you thinks?
On De Gea, I think De Gea has the club's interest at heart. I really do. I think De Gea's had opportunities before to go. Obviously, the fax machine saga, and it was quite well known that Madrid wanted him a couple of seasons ago. So De Gea, I'm hopeful he will stay. I really do, because I think looking at it, he would look at it quite sensibly. He will see that there's a project being done at United, and hopefully he will stay. Pogba, on the other hand, I can see.
Well, it's
Pogba,
easier for goalies, isn't it? Sorry, because I don't know how good De Gea is, but obviously goalkeepers tend to go to the late 30s, whereas for Pogba, he's probably got 3 or 4 years left in his top prime. Right.
Yeah, so for Pogba, I was going to say that I can see him looking after number one. I can see him looking after himself, which is right. He should do. But I think if he does want to go, then let him go. We should cash in, because the reports are linking us with Bruno Fernandes and Tielemans and the other lad that's mentioned. I think we could probably get 2 of those players that we're linked to if we cash in on Pogba. So it wouldn't really affect the transfer money. So from a business point of view, and from Ollie's point of view, I would say cash in on him.
I'm not saying. Yeah, you're right. I mean, to everyone at home, that's the fact, isn't it? However much Pogba's worth, whether he's worth 120, 150, you should be able to get Bruno Fernandes and Tielemans and have a few million in your pocket. Now, and that's the point, isn't it? Would you rather have Bruno Fernandes and Tielemans, or would you rather have Pogba? And I think I would probably rather have Bruno Fernandes and Tielemans, because I think they symbolise where United need to go over the next 3 years. We need to build a team. I don't think we can build from where we are with Pogba, because he's an asset that we probably should cash in on, and I think he wants to go as well.
Yeah, and the problem, the stumbling block with that transfer is the agent. The agent being banned from all over the world for negotiating and stuff. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops throughout the season. Because if he's adamant he wants to go, it's probably going to come down to the last couple of days of the transfer window. So I think we'll be out of tell with the midfielders that Ollie brings in towards the end of the window whether Pogba's going to go or not. Because if we bring in 2 or 3, then you could probably think, there's a very, very good chance that he'll leave the club.
Yeah, definitely. Just to shout out to, let me get this right. Welcome to Harishkesh Kalkar and Console Control, the latest 2 members of the United Stand Members Club. Remember, you can join by clicking the join button. Also, we've had a comment from Manchester_G. He says, why do you guys think that as fans see the potential of Herrera? However, 3 managers kind of didn't rate him. And Brandon Slaughter says, Raiola got a worldwide transfer ban. Pogba can't leave now. Well, he can. Yeah. He can leave because, his agent may be Mino Raiola, but there are ways around that. There are many ways around that, so it could still happen. In regards to Herrera not being rated by 3 managers, well, Van Gaal was a prat. Mourinho, Herrera was his player of the year when we won the Europa League, and then he just got obsessed with Fellaini. And with Ollie, to be fair, the 3 months we were good, we had Herrera playing, and then he got injured. So I think Herrera was a massive part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, and he's a massive reason that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the United job. People don't want to go down that road, but when them first 3 months, that midfield 3, in fairness to Matic as well, but certainly Herrera and Pogba, they were brilliant. Against some good teams, they were brilliant. So, Herrera's gone now, and we've got to look forward, but I think all these myths that are floating around about him being a squad player and not that good, I can't deal with that, because where have you been? It's all right trying to justify something from a couple of years ago because people have short memories, but we're talking about December, January, February, and Ander Herrera was one of the best midfielders in the league at that time. Yeah. And 3 months later, people are trying to convince themselves that he's not that good. have you seen how shit we've been the last 2 months without him? So, but he's gone. We must move on. What do you think of this Icardi-Lukaku swap? Mark says SD's 1995. And Jake Roden says, City's captain is an ex-world-class centre-back who scored a banger to win them the title. Young is a failed winger who swallows bird poo. We need to get real. I don't think Ashley Young's going anywhere. I mean, do you think we will... How many beyond Pogba and De Gea, do you think we will actually be able to offload people like Sanchez and Lukaku this summer? Because there seems to be a lot of players. And I mean, Smashhurst says, why is Young starting? I don't think we can answer that. But with regards to Lukaku and Sanchez, I think it's very important that they are not here next season, but there's probably quite a big chance that they will be.
Do you know, I think it's more important that Sanchez isn't here, purely based on the wages. You get rid of that amount of wages, you bring that wage structure down, and then no one has an excuse then to demand, what he's on, virtually. I did see a couple of things on Twitter with people saying that Herrera's wanting £300,000 a week, to sit on the bench. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. But yeah, I think it's more important for us in the summer.
Actually, let me just jump in there. I want to just say this, right? On Twitter, if you've not been on Twitter for a number of years like I have, there are people who set up profiles, say they write for certain newspapers, and they're not real. There's loads of them been uncovered, and there's one at the moment who said, I think it says at Fox Sports in his bio, so people think he's real. He's not real. He's not real. And he said, he's the one who's put that rumour out that Herrera wanted £300,000 a week. So Ander Herrera's on £70,000 a week for 5 years at United, and then he says he wants £300,000 a week. It's not true. PSG aren't even paying him £200,000 a week. And when you check that guy's Twitter feed, because he ain't very clever, he's obviously set it up and changed it to make himself look like an in-the-know for the summer. You go back 1 month, he's calling Rashford a CUNT. He's not a journalist, but people fall for it every year. Chief Sosa says, think we need a right winger, or is Daniel James enough, Mark? Well, he's a left winger for a start. Go on, Marcus. I did interrupt you anyway.
Well, do you know what? I mean, talking about Daniel James, I mean, he's had a great season for Swansea. Very well established in their first team. Good, young, up-and-coming prospect. It's those sort of signings that excite me, the not well-known talents, because all of a sudden they could just burst onto the scene. Maybe if he does want to come, maybe Manchester United will, hopefully he'll step up another gear, But I think if Daniel James comes in, I wouldn't be surprised, if we see a bit of a swap in the front three with James on the left, Martial through the middle, and Rashford on the right. We know Martial wants to play as the number 9. We know Rashford can play out wide. Albeit he's a different threat out wide, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see that sometimes throughout next season as well, if he does come in.
We've got a new member as well. Welcome to Tyler Watts. And Dazu W says, we need to be ruthless at letting folk go. Look at City going to let company go because they're looking at the future and we keep young. And I think that's a great point by Dazo. I mean, it's not lost on any of us that Vincent Kompany basically won City the league with that goal against Leicester. But they're still going to let him go, and that's what good teams do. You get rid of crap. You evolve and make difficult decisions, whereas we're keeping crap. We must just, actually, one thing we've very rightly done is not really talk about this game, Marcus. I mean, Cardiff will surely beat them. But when you look at the form below, that's no lie. In our last 6 games, we've won 1, we've lost 3 and we've drawn 2. In Cardiff's last 6 games, they've lost 4 and won 2. So they've got more points than us in their last 6 games.
They have, yeah.
But surely, I think it's very important that we do win this game today and take something into the summer, even though it's it doesn't really mean anything and it's not going to change people's minds on a lot. But
they have, yeah. I mean, you would expect us to win it, of course you would. But the way the form and the results have been going lately, do you know what? I wouldn't be going down to the betting shop, mate, and putting a bet on United to win. Not at all. They've got, obviously, Mason Greenwood is playing through the centre or out on the right-hand side. The guy, the young lad, he's been banging in goals for fun. So hopefully he shows what he's all about today. Hopefully he can show that he's ready. So I'm more interested today in the performance wanting to see how these young lads gel, how they can fit into the team, whether they are good enough. If Ollie might deem, there's a couple of lads on the bench as well, youngsters. So, I'm hoping to see the young lads put in a good performance today. I don't really want to see the Matters and Matic and stuff like that. I just don't. There's no point to it whatsoever today. I think for the fans, they've got to show some young, exciting talent, and got to show us the approach that Ollie wants to take with his team now.
Definitely. Matt0409 says those fake accounts you talk about on Twitter are just as real as your sources telling you complete bullshit every week. Look, Matt, there's two things here. I just want to absolutely bury you on this. One, I will bury him because the last time I said we had a source was Alexis Sanchez, and we were a week before the mainstream media because I got told that by Robbie at Arsenal Fan TV, who had got told it by Arsenal Football Club, and we were a week ahead of anybody, Alexis Sanchez, and people were like, oh, no, you're saying it's 100% done, you're going to look a right mug. And I didn't. It happened. So we were right on that. I've not had a credible source since then because I don't do that. Transfer Daily, what people are a little bit thick about and don't realise, Transfer Daily is us talking about the transfer news in the news. We're not exploiting or talking about our own sources. I've been told by two separate people we're signing Sancho, Bruno Fernandes and Meunier. I don't believe them. But I will put it out there and say that's what I've been told. I don't think we're getting Sancho. And I was told this a month ago. So I think people need to understand that Transfer Daily is not me and Marcus sat there going, oh, let's talk about this and the other. It's what's in the news and we give the real fan opinion on it. As I keep saying, though, I think the biggest signing we might make this summer is Koulibaly. I've been saying this for a long time. I know Mourinho, for a fact, was after him. And I think United might have kept that deal alive after Mourinho's gone. But at the moment, the great thing about this summer, Marcus, is nobody's got a bloody clue what's going to happen. That Daniel James came from nowhere, and it is exciting. And I know people were moaning about it. But, what do you want? Do you want Galacticos or do you want to build a team? So I was excited by that. I'm very excited about the summer because I think we've had such a crap season. The transfer window is... I've always loved it. I know you do as well. We've been doing this for a few years now. Going into it, knowing that the club needs to buy 4 or 5 players, knowing that we need to get rid of 6 or 7 players. It's not like previous summers where you think, well, hopefully we'll sign 5. We bloody need to. And I think if we're sat here for the first game of the season in August and we've only bought 2 players and we've only sold 2 players, I don't care who the manager is or anything, I think then something needs to happen with this football club because this summer is absolutely massive, and there needs to be a lot of change.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be not the big names this summer. If the rumours are right that Ollie's got 250 million, and he wants to bring in 5 players, you can't spend 100 million on that on Jadon Sancho. No matter how good the lad is, it just can't be done. Because if you're looking at Sancho, Tielemans, Fernandes, there's the swap deal possibly with Lukaku and Icardi. You're talking about Pogba going and maybe bringing players in. No, it won't be done like that. I just think logically and from a business point of view, if he's got 200 million, then I think you're going to see a couple of players go out the door. Possibly, I think Rojo will go. I think Darmian is set in stone to go as well. Bailly, I thought he may have gone, but now he's injured. I wouldn't have thought so. There's a couple of players. You can get
to 10 so easy. That's the problem. That's why it's going to be such an interesting summer, really.
Yeah, you can. And I just think with the budget that he's got, you cannot afford to spend 80 to 100 million on one player. And I'm going to go against you, mate. I don't think Koulibaly's going to come at all. I think they'll go for Manolas or Maguire, I think.
Because they're cheap.
Yeah. I just think if you're looking at Koulibaly and you're talking 80, 90 million, and then you look at the agent fees and stuff like that as well, you're talking well over £100 million possibly. And if that's out of the 250 million budget, he ain't going to bring in 5 players with that amount of money.
No, you're probably right, to be fair.
So I just think, you look at it from the Glazers, how they like to deal with money. Woodward, how long he takes with deals as well. Yeah, I just can't see a massive marquee signing coming in. I really can't, unless it's on a free somehow. I don't think anyone's going to come in. Possibly a loan, but not a straight out buy.
Upbeat Sarcastic says Huddersfield form was much worse going into that disaster. I fancy Cardiff for a point today. Only ray of hope is the youth in it. We've got a new member with welcome to David Mills. Thanks for joining the members club, David. And Azza Ironmonger says, if Pogba and De Gea leave, who would you look to as United's future captain? Would you bring in a leader during the summer? I think it's very, very unlikely that we would buy a captain. Hi, Mark and Marcus. Score prediction, says Adam Morris. On the captaincy, I think it should be probably Lindelof for me, Marcus.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I think Lindelof's had a fantastic few months under Ollie. He's been very consistent. I don't see anyone else out there really. You look at the last game with Ashley Young standing with his hands on his hips, and you can see Lindelof there trying to rally the team, get behind the team, make them believe. I think Lindelof is the main candidate. I don't think the team would take too well, if Ollie brought someone in and made him captain.
It'd probably be Ashley Young next season anyway.
Probably will
he's still here. I still think in August we'll be going, why the hell is Ashley Young playing for United? I don't think a summer's going to change that. I really don't. Would you take Herrera over Pogba? I would, says Rafael Mora. Yeah, I would, and I think that's... Yeah. I think, talking about the game, because I want to get your score prediction as well, Marcus. Yep. Talking about the game, I don't know much about Cardiff. Fully enough, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game was against Cardiff, and we smashed them, didn't we, at their place. But if Cardiff have got a decent midfield, they could get something out of this game, because I think ever since that Herrera, Matic, Pogba thing broke up in February, we've been crap. And I think we've been crap because most games you win and lose on your midfield, and our midfield's just not been good enough. And is McTominay, Pereira and Pogba good enough? I would hope it is, but it depends what Cardiff's midfield's like. I don't follow Cardiff. I don't know much about Cardiff. But if they've got a decent midfield, they might, like Huddersfield last week, that Bacuna, he just took hold of the midfield, didn't he? And they're getting relegated. So I'm going to go United 3-1. I'm going to be optimistic. What about you, pal?
I think you're too optimistic there, mate. I'm going to go 1-1. I really do. I just think that's how I'm feeling with this team. They've let me down so many times in the last few months that it wouldn't surprise me if they turned it on today, because it's the last game and they all know they're off on holiday, come 5 o'clock. But no, I just think Cardiff, although they're relegated, they've got a lot of pride to play for. They've not had a great season. Neil Warnock, I think, is a decent manager for a low-level side. I'm going to go 1-1 for this one.
Aaron Manchakunda, who's one of the members, says, hey Mark, do you think that we could promote Ollie to director and get Poch? I think Ollie would be better than Fletcher or Rio, to be honest. Poch might be more attractive to signing top players, Neves, Van der Beek. I think you're dreaming, Aaron. I like the theory, but I think you're dreaming. Too optimistic, Mark, says Forever Righteous. You know what, it's the end of the season. I'm just hoping for a little bit of positivity to go into the summer. Welcome to Terence Tocky, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club, which you can join by clicking the join button. Please do subscribe to the channel as well, bottom right hand corner. We're getting very close to 439,000. I can see we're about 35 subscribers away. So please do subscribe. Make sure you put your notifications on as well. It's all about transfers. It's all about exits and incomings over the summer. I think it's going to be the busiest summer we've ever had on the United Stand. So make sure you subscribe. And when you have subscribed, click the bell. Tick to get all notifications, because we've got Monday to Friday every morning at 7 a.m. There's transfer daily throughout, but as with yesterday, as soon as there's any news, we'll go live as well, like with Herrera's exit. So loads and loads going on, and we're still going to be live every night at 8 o'clock from tomorrow night as well. So get involved with the United Stand with that. Bold Beaver Hunter says, you said that Milinkovic, Savic, Fabinho, Griezmann were all done deals. Mate, I don't remember saying that at all. I don't know what year you're even talking about. You must be going back 2 or 3 years. But to be honest with you, Antoine Griezmann pretty much was a done deal, to be honest. It had been worked on for about 8 months, and he pulled out because of the transfer ban with Atletico Madrid. Emma Tabariri says we need to gassing Lindelof up. He's been part of one of the worst defences. We need to stop gassing Lindelof up, I think he's saying. He's been part of one of the worst defences in our history, albeit it's largely not his fault. But he doesn't organise the back four very well, which is a must for a leader. I mean, that's a very good point about Lindelof, really, Marcus. I mean, he's been a very good player this year in a very, very bad team. Doesn't mean he'd be a very good player in a very good team. And Biggie Third says, confirmation we're a small club. They won't let us say goodbye to Herrera. Says a lot about Ollie. Can't make the club hold on to his best midfielder. I think the Herrera thing was sorted before Ollie even came in, really. He was out of contract when Ollie came in, so I think the damage was already done with that.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of things that were already in place before Solskjaer came in. A lot of things that were out of his control. He was brought in. He didn't know for the first 3 months. He didn't know he was getting the job in the first place. He just thought he was there until the summer. So it's hard to say, that Herrera maybe would have stayed if things had been done differently. Maybe if they'd have qualified for the Champions League, he might have changed his mind. But it's all ifs and buts. But the worst thing for me is I think, like a lot of people, the Ashley Young. Not only is he still playing at 34 years old, but he's Manchester United captain as well, and that's not a good sign at all for me.
No, certainly not. Herrera was always gone a long time before Ollie, says Kim Schiff. Anas says Herrera is a squad player at best. I mean, I don't actually look. I love the different opinions, I really do, but I'll jump on them if I don't agree with it. And I have got to say, what year are you living in? Are you living in 2008? Because since when is Ander Herrera a squad player for United? We've been consistently shit for 6 years. Like, we don't finish in the top 4. Last year was a bloody fluke. Like, we are consistently 5th, 4th. That's where we are. So these people who are going, Herrera's a squad player at best. Based on what? The little wet dream you've had last night watching playing FIFA. Like, we don't have these players that are better than Ander Herrera. You're living in a fantasy world. You really are. Ander Herrera is a squad player at best. In relation to who? Nemanja Matic, Scott McTominay, Fred, Pereira. He's the second best midfielder we've got with Paul Pogba. Like, I agree, he's a squad player in a title-winning team if you bring in the right players, but we're not there. This is the point. We're replacing a player who's a first-teamer for us at a time where we need to be replacing a lot more than that. So this Ander Herrera is a squad player at best. You're making yourself look an absolute fool. And I'm an expert in that, so I know you're making yourself look a fool. Because you really are. Because how can he be a squad player when everybody else in our midfield is worse than him, apart from Pogba? It's just a stupid argument, I feel. Do you two think Ollie can turn around Fosu Mensah, says Aaron Gillespie? I mean, I'll let you have your say on that, Marcus.
Well, do you know what? I mean, looking at what he's done the season before the injury, I would really like to see him involved next season. I really would. I think the guy, I've always rated him quite highly. Whether he's a right back or he's built for a CDM role as well for me, so he can play a couple of positions. But for me, the one I'm looking forward to that's going to be very interesting is Twansibi. I think he's had a great season. I think it was Aston Villa he was on loan at. He played very well yesterday. I'm looking forward to seeing. We've got some decent talent coming through. Greenwood, Chong, Gomez, Garner. You chuck in Twansibi, Fosu Mensah. I mean, that's 6 or 7 there. And you just think to yourself, is Ollie going to let these players go out on loan again? Maybe in the Premier League this time. For a few of them.
I said it yesterday. I would do that with Twansibi because I'd rather he was playing first team football in the Premier League than sitting on the bench watching Phil Jones mess up.
Well, I mean, you look at the sides that are coming up next season. You look at the Norwiches and Sheffield United. You got the playoffs as well. Maybe it would be good to see a couple of the youngsters go to these sides that are newly promoted, just so they can get that experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think Twansibi is one to keep an eye on. Even under Mourinho when he played, I think it was against Arsenal or Spurs. He played a few of them.
Yeah, he played both of them.
Yeah, he played really well. He did play really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing his development at United, especially under Solskjaer as well, because he likes working with the young lads.
Welcome to Edgar T, the latest member of the club. We've got Dan joining us in a moment because obviously the game's not on in the UK, so we've got Dan who's watching it in America who'll be keeping us up to date with that. Sarab Chowdhury says, I hope Herrera comes on the pitch after the match and gets his well-deserved farewell. I think he will do, and I think, you know what, I think that might be another ploy by the club to make sure that people stay and applaud the team, because I think there is that concern at the club that people are going to walk out in the 90th minute and not applaud them. But obviously, if you bring Ander Herrera on the pitch, people will stay to applaud him. So I think you've hit the nail on the head there, 100%. Brendan Coombs says, Ollie's having a laugh. A way to lose the fans. Well, we'll see what happens with that next season, Brandon. Marcus, I just want to say thanks for this season being my sidekick for the watch. It's a shame you can't do the last one, but you are in the UK, so you can't do it. So cheers for coming on, pal.
No worries, mate. We've it's been an up and down season. We've seen highs, we've seen lows. 3 years now we've been doing it. So provided my contract gets renewed again in the summer by you, I'll be with you again next season.
Well, there's a few free agents out there, but we'll have to see if we can negotiate something. I mean, John G says, if we don't have better players than Herrera, why should we keep them on £200,000? Get someone that's better than Herrera. Wake up, people. It's an interesting theory. I don't actually agree with it, but there you go. It's all about opinion, which is what the channel is all about. So, Marcus, I know we'll be speaking very soon, but thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries, mate. Pleasure as always. So everyone, just want to say have a great summer, and behave yourselves and everything, and keep subscribing to the channel, because there's so much coming throughout the summer. You've got United Stand FC as well, hopefully coming up shortly. You got the transfer dailies and things like that, and Mark's live every night at 8 o'clock. So so have a good show, have a good end of season, and I will speak to you all soon.
Cheers, pal. I'll speak to you in a bit.
No worries, mate. Laters.
See you later, mate. Brandow says, Tillemans for 50 million, such a gifted footballer. It is a bit weird, actually, not doing the watch along with Marcus, because we do them all. But obviously, this is one of those games that's not in the UK. So we'll get one of the American boys to join me, and Dan will be joining me very, very soon for that. I've just clicked something by mistake there. I'm not going anywhere. A few people seem to think the show's ending. I'm not going anywhere. We will be live with you throughout this game. Match reaction afterwards. Fan cams, flexes there for the last game of the season. So, join in and get involved with that. Score predictions then. Give us your score predictions. Link in the video description for that. No, just type it. Or you could just type your score predictions there. Transfer Daily, 7 a.m, yes. And what else have we got for you? We got the 8 o'clock shows as well. Right. My thoughts are very, very easy on this. I think that United are going to win. We need another striker next season to give Rashi some competition. Ollie goes on as if Rashford is sub-prime Ronaldo. A lot of people going 2-1 United. I could deal with that. I can deal with that. 3-0. Said somebody. 5-0. What team do you support? Says Keith. Well, we're a Manchester United fan channel. There's a clue there. We need another striker next season to give Rashi some competition. Ollie goes on as if Rashi... Yeah, I've just read that. I just hope that Mason Greenwood arrives in this game today and does something. I really do. I hope that he produces something today and gives us something to be excited about. I think that's what I'm really, really hoping for, because I think it's a long time coming, him starting games for United, and I think he's good enough, and I think now is the time to give him that chance. And he's going to get that chance, so let's hope it goes well. We will be keeping an eye on the other scores. Yeah, it's a very, very rare thing that they do, obviously, at the end of the football season, whereby everyone kicks off at the same time. All that matters is that Brighton don't mess up. Anton Alessi says, out of all the potential signings that have been linked with Manchester United, who do you think is the most likely to come? Who would you most like to come, and who would you realistically want to come? I think... It's difficult. I know that United are after Bruno Fernandes. You don't need to be a bloody in the know or anything like that. We're after Bruno Fernandes, but he could go to City, and we'll just have to take that if that happens. Koulibaly's one that I've been on about for a while. I know that Mourinho was after him, and I just think United have kept that deal going. But it's a far-fetched one, and I would like that to happen. Transfers decides if I pay $40 a month for matches, says Stig Helg, West Ham. I don't think you're the only one there. I think there's a lot of United fans who've been very, very disappointed this season, who will be awaiting what's going to what's going to happen. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting indeed. Okay. Right, we should be able to get Dan on now for you. Bing, bing, bing.
Hello.
Hi Dan, can you hear me, mate?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Mark?
Well, it's been a while since we spoke, but lots been going on. But finally, the season is over. How are you feeling about it?
Relieved, because it's just gone from bad to worse. Then it got good again, and then it went from bad to worse.
Definitely. I mean, what are you feeling about today and the team that Ollie's selected? Obviously, Mason Greenwood starts, but a lot of people not happy in relation to people like Ashley Young and Phil Jones starting.
No, yeah, not enough. I don't think there's been enough changes personally, but I'm not surprised. Having said that, like you said, I think it's going to be a lot of send-offs today. Even players that we don't know if they're leaving yet. I think this is going to be their last game. But I would like to see Garner in there and Gomes playing, and just would have been nicer to see than the usual suspects.
Yeah, I mean, just very quickly on that, I've sort of alluded to the fact that maybe we might see, a De Gea or a Pogba go, maybe even a Martial. I mean, have you got any sort of feelings in relation to these players that might leave that are not the obvious ones? We know Herrera's gone, we know Valencia's gone.
Pogba, I think, is a really good shout to leave. De Gea, I would say he could go, but the only thing with that is I think it would be very difficult to find him a club. The only club I could think of signing him would be PSG, because Real would have to do a lot of work. They'd have to get rid of Courtois. And Zidane's back there, and he really loves Keylor Navas. So I don't see him going anywhere else in Spain. Maybe Juventus, but I think it'll be more difficult for him to leave than Pogba. I think Pogba's he's an easy out.
Biggie Third says, making excuses for Ollie. Jose made the board re-sign Fellaini when he was out of contract. Ollie could have made them re-sign Herrera if he is a top manager. Not if the club were unwilling to give him the wages. And is Avram Glazer really Ronald McDonald, says Ian Sheedy. And Chuckle Brothers started their career or end also young, says Pranav. I think we'll be seeing all of those players next season. Where do you stand on the Ander Herrera thing, Dan?
Sad. Really sad, because you had a player that gets the club. People could argue if he's good enough or not, but I don't think that's the point. I think a lot of people looking around and see the people that we've retained, and then they're seeing a player like him that we're letting go, and not getting anything for him either, which I think is really criminal. So just kicked off here.
Okay,
in the match.
Okay, so the timer's up and running. Dan's on today. This happens sometimes in the UK where we don't get the game in the UK. So what we do is we either get Dan or Jared on, who obviously are over in America, and they're able to watch the game and keep us up to date with what's going on. So Dan will be the eyes and the ears on the game. The timer is up and running. We're 20 seconds into the game. I forgot to ask, Dan, what's your sort of score prediction for this game?
I think they're going to draw. Maybe a 1-1. I can't see them scoring more than 2 goals, Cardiff. So I just don't think we have any firepower going forward. Rashford's been dead. Lingard's useless. It's Greenwood's first game, so I'm not expecting too much on the front foot.
Emmanuel Gashen says free kick, Rashford or Greenwood. I mean, to be honest with you, I'd let Ollie come on and take it. Maybe the corner flag, have a go. I don't want to see Marcus Rashford on corners. But I suppose the interesting thing to start off with, Dan, if you can spot for us, and we'll look in the live comments as well. Who's going to play at right back? Who's going to play at left back? Who's going to hold the midfield? Are we going to play a 4-4-2 or are we playing a 4-3-3?
So right now you have McTominay's probably the deepest midfielder. Delo's playing right back, not Ashley Young. They just right after the kickoff, they had Mason Greenwood on the right instead of playing up front, and it's kind of looking like that him and Rashford are going to be switching in terms of who's playing forward and who's playing right wing. Lingard hasn't touched the ball yet; he's all the way out on the left, so looking like a 4-3-3.
Okay, yeah. Be interesting to see if he does go with the 4-3-3 or whether he goes with this 4-1-2-1, which I don't understand why we did 4-3-3 for 3 months and it worked really well. But you know what? A lot of people are saying, well, we're going to win this game, and I'm one of those. But when you look at it, that back four it's not good. It's got Jones and Smalling in it and Ashley Young. So, and obviously Delo's quite young. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Herrera's not injured on Honest Gaming. He's actually playing for He's just not been picked. He's I don't really understand why that's the case, because we're going to give Valencia a swan song, but at some point. So
yeah, I was a little surprised to not see him in the lineup either. I heard Chong had the injury in training.
Yeah.
But I was definitely surprised not to see Herrera in the lineup. And like you were saying before, Valencia will come on for a little bit. That's one substitution. Probably Mata. That's 2 substitutions. So then you have Garner and Gomez on the bench. So, one of them's not going to play, which, one of them should be starting already.
Yeah, a few people are on about that, to be fair, about the lack of youth being used. And I think I'm just so happy that Greenwood's playing that I've sort of ignored the fact that actually, where is the rest of the youth? And you're absolutely right. I said this. You can only make 3 substitutions. It's very obvious that Valencia's coming on, so that's 1. It's very obvious if Mata's leaving, he's going to come on, so that's 2. And that leaves 1 substitute. So Gomez or Garner won't get on, which is unfortunate. Mark, what's up? It's been a real disaster this season. Ready for a new beginning. Thanks for everything. You're my best mate and you don't even know it. Shout out Tito from Northeast LA. Thanks for the contribution, Tito the Fool. Look, this community is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic community. So thanks everyone for getting involved in it. You are absolutely fantastic. And I'm hoping that the summer's going to be a big one, Dan.
Yeah, same here. United with a corner right now. Herrera had a good shot that just went wide. It was deflected. So Ashley Young taking a corner, and let's see here. Nobody gets their head on it as usual, but it's out to Delo. He swings one in. Excellent. Wow, Delo with one of those whipped in crosses that he always does, and Greenwood actually got his head to it, but he just headed it over the bar there. He couldn't direct it down, but good start.
I'd love him to get a goal today. I think that is I think if Greenwood hadn't started today and maybe Lukaku was fit, I think this would be just I don't know. I mean, I would watch it because I always watch United, but it would be very hard to watch this game if Greenwood
I think
playing.
I think it's hard to watch it even as is, only because the season's dead, and like I said, I don't think there's not enough youth in here. I remember in Mourinho's last game when they finished 6th, would they have Josh Harrop playing, and they had 2 other players playing that were academy players. He actually fielded I'm not defending him. He was gash, but he actually fielded a younger starting 11 on the last day than Ole has. I just don't see the point in playing Rashford, especially he's resting guys like Lindelof and Shaw, who's our player of the year. So you want to do a lap of honor for Luke Shaw, player of the season, can't even do that. So. Kind of not understanding it, but like I said, not too surprised. So
I'm just reading some of the comments there, and it's a very, very good point. I mean, people talking about Mason Greenwood going close with a header there, but a lot of people talking about the quality of the cross from Delo, and that should not be ignored because, again, Ashley Young's playing today. He's playing at left back, but his delivery for an ex-winger is a disgrace, and that's what surprised me over the last few weeks as well, is that Young should have been dropped, but Delo, he can't. He actually can deliver a cross. So good to see him doing that again. I'm starting to feel sick thinking of City bottling it, says Michael Van Gerwen. Don't worry, we've got all flash updates and everything like that, so don't be worrying about bloody Brighton 1-0 fake scores. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on.
Yeah. I'm also watching I also have the Wolves and Liverpool game on another screen. So taking it all in on the final day. But Ashley Young just got torn apart there at left back by some scrub, Mendez Lang for Cardiff. Doesn't matter who the opposition is. He makes them look like they're playing against prime Arjen Robben.
Exactly.
I'm like, I know the fans. We look at it and say, how long could you keep up with Young playing in the team and more importantly being captain. But I mean, I don't see an end in sight with him in the squad. It's kind of like how I felt with Fellaini. You're not gonna see him in the squad until he's gone.
No, and it just never seems to stop, does it? Like you say, it's like we always seem to lurch from one to another. Spurs are winning 1-0 apparently. I mean, I don't know what the relevance of that would be because Spurs are... I mean, we can finish fifth. For anybody who wants to get excited about that, we could finish fifth today. If you want to get excited about that. If Burnley draw with Arsenal and we beat Cardiff, we'd go above them. Obviously, if we win and they lose, we go above them. But look, I don't care if Arsenal win as long as we win. I'm not bothered. In many ways, I'd rather finish sixth because I think it's a fair reflection of where we deserve to be. I don't want any scamming fifth or celebration finishing above them. It's not what I want.
No, yeah, me neither. I think it's more so that they don't have to play potentially have to play the qualifier so early in July.
There's no way Man City are going to not win the FA Cup against Watford, though. I mean, well, I say no way, but I really don't think that will happen.
Yeah, I don't either. Pogba with some good work here. He turned his defender. He squared one to Greenwood. It was just a little bit past him. So, but it was good work from Pogba. Good work from Greenwood to get to the space, and United are going to have a throw in.
Well, KA says it won't matter if Arsenal win because they can win the Europa. Well, winning the Europa League won't put them above us in the league. It'll put them in the Champions League, of course it will, but it won't put them above us in the league. I don't know. I don't know whether anyone in the live comments knows or you know, Dan, but there's a few people saying there's a lot of empty seats at Old Trafford. I don't know whether that's the case or not. A lot of people do travel to United, have season tickets in Ireland, all around the UK. This, you're not from Manchester crap is nonsense. There's a lot of people who travel for a lot of hours to United, so it wouldn't surprise me. I know a lot this week. I've had so many tickets offered to me free. A lot of the people have as well. Yeah,
there seems to be a few. Not too much like in the Mourinho days. I think when Mourinho, towards the end of his tenure, there was a ton. There was a lot. It was noticeable. So I think, too, last game of the season, dead rubber game, it's a nice day out. It's got to be at least looking like it's, Fahrenheit, 65, 70 degrees. People got better things to do than going to football, especially when they saw that lineup.
Apparently Newcastle are beating Fulham 1-0.
Yeah, still 0-0 here with Wolves and Liverpool. So.
What do you think about next season? I mean, I know so much of it is dependent on what happens with the summer, but are you confident that that United will sort of be a better team next year, or do you feel that there'll be another bad year next year?
I think it'll get worse before it gets better. I think in a lot of ways I wouldn't say the new Liverpool, because Liverpool have actually done something the last couple of years, but I could see us kind of going down that road where they had some finishes 7th, 8th, not so good, pretty terrible seasons where they were kind of a walkover to try to rebuild, what they have now. So I could see us going in that direction. So I don't think it'll get better next season, but it also depends on the summer. It's a huge summer, If they start bringing in just younger players, more so no-name players, potential, and talented players like that, then I could see us, finishing no higher than 7th. But if they get a Koulibaly, if they get a Saul Niguez type of player who they are in for, Bruno Fernandes, they could scrape a 4th or something like that. So it's hard.
That's what I agree with that. I think that's what United's ceiling is next season. Sergey Mamedov says, Mark, where can you watch the match? Because I can't find it on TV. If you're in the UK, mate, you won't get it. It's if you're outside the UK, there's probably numerous ways. I think you're in America, Dan, and it's on USA because they show absolutely every game, don't they? I think that's right.
Yeah, it's on USA in the States. Every game is on the final day of the season.
Yeah. So. We have this weird thing. Well, we get it all through the season as well, whereby they don't put it on for certain games. But such is life. We've had another super chat here from Chris T. There's something special hidden about Andreas. He really needs quality around him and a run of games. I really think he has world-class potential. Well, he's had a couple of shots in this game, Dan, hasn't he, Andreas?
Yeah, he's played well. his crossing also is very, very good. Delo just took a wild swing at a clearance there, and Tahea had to come and punch. But yeah, no, I think Pereira, again, if he had the players around him, I think he'd be a fantastic player. But just when by the time that United get the players around him, is it going to be too late? Is it going to be past it? So to speak. Actually, had an unbelievable pass just there. So speaking of Pereira, he actually just there was a little 1-2 in the midfield, and he lofted it over the back four and hit Greenwood in stride, and he just headed it down into the keeper's right. The keeper made a good save.
See, I've got to say about Pereira, it's a bit like the Fred scenario as well. It's like Pereira played in that PSG game. He was playing around that time, and we haven't really seen him for a month. And I've got to say again, it's odd man management of players, because Andres Pereira, where has he been for a month? And yet we've been playing really badly. Why has he not been getting his chances? I don't know.
Strange, really is. Sometimes you just love to be a fly on the wall in some of these meetings, and when they do the lineups, and because it doesn't. So a lot of times it doesn't make any sense. You have a player who's playing well 2 months, and you don't see him for a month, or Fred was getting a good string of games there, 5-6 in a row, then all of a sudden he was out for a month and a half. So it does not making any sense to me. So hopefully, players going out.
That chance, really, shouldn't he? I think.
Yeah, I think the keeper made a good save. I just don't think he got enough on the header, enough power. It was kind of a little weak. He's got to build up those neck muscles.
A few people saying, have United started? Obviously, a lot of people probably not able to watch this game. We've got Dan in America who's watching it. Cardiff have done next to nothing, really. I know the winger skinned Ashley Young, but that's, anyone can do that. United doing what United do, really. No pressure. A few people coming in to sort of impress, I suppose. It's a bit of an exhibition game, and United are enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I'd say that they're controlling everything well. No shots on target yet for Cardiff. A couple for United. Greenwood actually probably had the two best chances. Lingard, I haven't even seen him touch the ball yet, and then we're almost 15 minutes gone. Rashford's done next to nothing. Again, not surprised. And that's another thing. What's it going to take to? I wouldn't say drop them in terms of like a negative. There's a positive way to drop people. There's a negative way to drop people, but Rashford's just. He's been horrible for, we're going on 2-3 months now. Lingard the same. I just think Martial could have played in this game. I mean, could have been much worse.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I've not heard you mention Lingard once. I think Rashford, we had a pass in the first 5 minutes, but yeah, absolutely nothing mentioned there. RF says Mark is clearly watching the game illegally. My eye is on the live comments, so my eye line is what I can do it for you now. Come on, Rashi, says Saul. Where can I watch the game, says Dan Houghton. Aesthetic Bra, check out Reddit. Jones and Lingard done nothing, says Robert McCall. So, how is Greenwood, says Al Patatin. And then we've had a super chat from Amrano TV. When Jose left before Christmas, we were 19 points off top spot. Now we're 29 points off top. So, basically, Jose would have got his third. I'm kidding, of course, but shows Ollie has a lot to improve. It's all about if buts and maybes, but we did have a very good run under Ollie that I don't think Mourinho would have been able to replicate personally, Dan.
No, I don't think so either. And you got to keep in mind that Liverpool and Man City haven't lost the game in how many weeks? We're going on, 9-10 games straight they've won. So, of course the gap will be a little bigger. But yeah, it pisses me off. People saying that, it looks like Mourinho was right, the set of players, and they don't want to perform and all that. But, you got to cut out the cancer when you have it. Mourinho just wasn't right for the club. I mean, he wasn't wrong in relation to some of the players. Absolutely not. But, to say that he would have done better with this squad, I know that they finished second last year, but we're just going in the wrong direction. They were never going to win anything under him.
No, Mourinho was 100% definitely right to be sacked.
Lingard with his first involvement giving away a foul. That's about all he's done so far. So Greenwood's looking good.
Yeah, I've H says Greenwood seems to have very good positional sense. I know he's missed a couple of headers, but he's getting. Well, there's two positives there. He's either got very good positional sense to be getting on the end of these chances, or United are creating chances. So yeah, good stuff from him so far. I really, really hope he gets a goal.
Yeah, he does have very good movement, but whether he's playing so far, it looks like he could get one. You got Rashford on a little skip breakaway here, and a weak shot goes wide for a goal kick. His finishing in the past couple months has been absolutely terrible. I remember that finish that he had against when they played Leicester. Took it first time over the top, the one against Spurs after Pogba's pass, and then I don't know what has happened since then, but his finishing is god awful. I mean, he kicks this one straight into the ground and nowhere near the goal.
So 20 minutes in, I don't think Cardiff have had a chance yet, but United have had one or two.
No, yeah, nothing for them. It's looked like. See, this is what I'm not too big of a fan of. It looks like Greenwood's gone more so towards the right, and actually now he's in the midfield by the center circle, with Rashford further ahead of him. So I don't know what the hell formation we're playing now because people are all over the place. But Herrera's on the ball.
I do think we try to be a little bit too clever at times, United.
I think it was that those first couple months under Ole when they were the front three, Lingard and Martial and Rashford, they were very fluid. I think he's still trying to do that, but with the players don't have the form, and he's got different personnel. Like when Lukaku's in there, they're trying to do the same thing, and he's coming in off the right, and it's just not working.
Liverpool 1-0 up apparently. Don't know.
Yeah, Mane
confirmed, but yeah, Mane. Yeah, Liverpool have scored, which I think they were always going to do, weren't they? I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting Liverpool not to win their game. It's really whether Brighton can pull off something. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think they can. But being a Manchester United fan, it wouldn't surprise me because that's just sort of the way this season's gone. So anything could happen, of course. But I don't think that it will happen. I think Man City will get over the line against Brighton, although they have been scrapping over the line quite recently. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Cardiff with their first chance here, their first real chance, and De Gea saves it, makes an easy save, straight down the middle, and United coming back on the counter attack.
Sanchez's contract has proven very problematic, says Schmill. Yep. And Banter FC, now the future looks brighter at Arsenal than at our club nowadays, says Anthony Helm. I'd go one further than that. I'd say that the future looks brighter at Leicester than it does at Manchester United at the moment. I'm not ashamed to say that either. I think that United are in a very, very tough situation.
Yeah, definitely. Greenwood's actually kind of now moved out towards the left, which I don't like. So this is what I don't like, because now they got Rashford through the middle and Lingard's on the right, Greenwood's on the left. It's just fucking, pardon my French, play the dude down the middle and just keep him there. It's moving around nonsense. It's annoying. It's infuriating because he should be playing down the middle. He's got better movement than anybody out there. Kind of wasting him out there on the left now.
Mark, if you could bring in a Manchester United legend to work with our front three and youngsters on finishing next year, who would you want in, says Josh Wearing. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't our manager, he probably would be somebody who would come to mind because he was brilliant at finishing. He could sit on the bench for 80 minutes and come on and score a hat-trick. So I think that they've probably got one of the best finishers we've ever had in the last 20 years.
Ruud van Nistelrooy for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Best finisher I've seen.
But what I'm saying is Solskjaer's not a bad person to have, and we're still very, very bad in front of goal. So
yeah, Pogba with it now, looking up to the box, gets it stolen off of him. Fans aren't happy.
Lindelof is going to Wolves, says Samuel Lundberg. Never in a million years. That would absolutely stun me if we sold Lindelof. I can't see that happening at all, to be honest. Abdallah says that the referee has made more interceptions than Phil Jones so far.
Well, Delo's just given away a penalty. That's what it looks like. I thought he got the ball personally, but let's say he's going to have the replays in a second.
He's given the penalty.
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't think that's a penalty at all. He's the player. It's Mendes Lang again. He swung and missed on the cross attempt. He went to go cross it. He missed it. Delo got the ball, and it went out of bounds. Not a penalty for me. He swung his foot at it to cross it. He missed the whole ball. It went under his feet, and Delo came to clear it out for, he made a sliding challenge to clear it and slid the ball out of play for should have been a corner.
So penalty to Cardiff. Talk us through it if they take it.
Yeah, sure. Looks like the Mendes Lang who won it is going to take it. Kind of like a
lot of people saying it's not a penalty anyway.
So. No, not at all. Well, he scored it, so there's one for them.
1-0 to Cardiff and an injustice by the sounds of it.
Yeah, just looking on the screen right now, and they got the fans and the United fans just so disinterested looking at their phones. Just could care less, really, which is sad to say, but not even a good penalty, really. Good height to save it. No power on it, but just De Gea went the wrong way.
Yeah, well, United 1-0 down. Does anyone really give a shit? It's just like, it makes it a bit interesting. Can we come back? I mean, we should have just given them a goal at the start of the game anyway for a bit of a challenge, I suppose, because, definitely not a penalty from what a lot of people are saying in the live comments anyway. But it's been given, and it is 1-0 to Cardiff, so the lack of injustice shouts really probably sums it up a lot, Dan, really. I think people are just like, oh, whatever, we need this season to be over. But
yeah, that's what I say. I just, they point to the spot. There wasn't really too many groans from the crowd. Everyone was kind of like, yeah, all right, sure, whatever,
I mean, the disappointing thing, again, is we're 25 minutes in and still you've not mentioned Jesse Lingard. So I presume he's done absolutely sod all again in a United shirt. And it's like, he's 27 this year. He's meant to be a senior pro at the club. And
yeah, well, Jay Lings, he's got his own emoji line and, clothing, whatever else. It's unbelievable. They can't kick a ball, but, they got, look at Greenwood off the post. Okay. Now that's more like it. So Greenwood gets it on the right, cuts inside two players, drills one low. Looked like it was heading in, and Etheridge just got a fingertip to it to push it onto the post. But good response.
That's exciting. That's what people want to see, and that's what this. I think he should have been playing more games before now. To be honest with you, I really do. His record in the youth and the reserves has been amazing, and he's probably done more in that clip there than any of our strikers have done for 2 months.
Yeah, well, Lingard with his first involvement, little layoff from Herrera, and Jesse's got about, 20 yards or so of green grass to run into, but he shoots it from outside the box right at the keeper. So still 1-0. But yeah, I mean, I thought he was actually going to get a good chance when he came on against PSG away in a game that they needed to win. Came on, they won the game. I thought from there on he'd be in and around the squad, and you didn't see him again until today. So, I know he had a couple setbacks getting hurt and stuff, but, you just expect him after that to be more involved, I guess.
So the choice...
Yeah, they're just...
Sorry,
no, just showing it back. He had to go. Greenwood cut it inside. It actually took a little bit of a deflection off the Cardiff defender, and then Etheridge tipped it onto the post. But it's good, definitely a good chance. He's been our best... I'd say he's been our best player, him and Andreas.
Ozzy Montana says, can't be asked. Alex Crawford, play Greenwood and just forget about Rashford. Well, I mean, look, Greenwood probably should have scored a goal with his header, but it's not really... I don't think we're judging that. I've always said this about the youth. It's not about, it's not, if Lukaku misses that chance or Sanchez, you're like, what are we paying for? Greenwood is a youth player who's been brilliant, and it's like Chong, it's like Gomez. If he gets his chance, you will forgive mistakes, you will forgive missed chances because they are young. They're very young. They're from the youth setup. We've paid no money for them, and that's what they're here for. So, but without question, the excitement that Greenwood has brought to the team straight away is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, after seeing that lineup, the only thing you could really be positive about is maybe having a youth player come in or two, and Having Greenwood in there is great. Still think there should have been a couple more players in there, but.
And let's not forget, I mean, yes, Cardiff are going to get relegated, but Cardiff are a very, very good club in the Championship level. They're very physical. And if Mason Greenwood is, that's the thing. That's the thing about youth players. It's like, can they deal with the physicality? I think Chong, maybe not yet. Apparently Brighton are winning. Bloody hell.
Well, Greenwood just went on an unbelievable run. Skipped past two or three players, cut it back for Pogba, but the pass was just a little bit short, and Pogba couldn't reach it. So, they're just showing the penalty back now. But Greenwood's been the most lively, and like you said, he's got a very high ceiling. The only way he could go is up. So, you're going to take a couple bumps, in terms of, poor finishing, I guess you could say, like you were saying earlier, for Rashford or Lukaku misses a chance like that. Everyone's going to be on him, so room to grow at 18 years old. So,
well,
Brighton up 1-0.
Yeah, Brighton are winning. Although I think it's not lasted for very long because I think Aguero has equalised.
Well, you have if you really want to laugh, you have fans. I guess you could call them fans. You have Liverpool supporters in the ground wearing Brighton kits, which Jesus Christ, I mean, have you ever? They're actually wearing Brighton kits at Anfield, Liverpool fans.
Well, that's a very, very, very quick turnaround from Man City, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out now. It's still looking like it says 1-0, but I'll check.
I think it's definitely. I've just had a message as well through Twitter to say that it's definitely 1-1 Man City.
Yep. Yeah, Aguero. Controversial.
That's definitely not a penalty. I've just seen a clip on Twitter actually.
No, not at all.
Never in a million years is that a penalty.
He goes to cross the ball and he missed the ball. He kicked over the ball. Terrible. But to be fair, in this type of game, maybe you need that kick up the ass to get going, because what else were we going to do? Sit there and hopefully we get a lucky goal and.
Well, I tell you what, Liverpool fans, they'll have been very excited for about. Liverpool keep doing this. I mean, sorry, Man City keep doing this, don't they? Though they keep giving. It's like over the last few weeks, Liverpool are waiting for Man City to mess up, and they just keep. I think I spoke to a Liverpool fan in the week, and he was like, the thing that kills you is that like Leicester and I think it was Burnley or somebody. You'd expect City to be winning 3-4, 5-0. Which would be great, but they're not. They're scraping 1-0, so you spend the whole 90 minutes thinking you've got a chance, and then Ashley Young apparently with one of the world's worst free kicks, says someone in the live comments. I think you probably just spared us that.
Terrible. Good thing we were talking about something else, because he's taking a page out of Rashford's book. But
just to get your thoughts on this, Dan. He says Greenwood is absolutely tearing Cardiff apart. Very mature game, world class movement, and one touch and go. And I think, look, you're watching it, but this is the thing about Greenwood. A lot of people think, he's a youth, he's not ready. The physicality of him, he's ready for this. He's ready to go. Just get him in the team.
No, yeah, absolutely. The thing is that if you keep him back and you play him in the reserves again next year, it's not gonna teach him anything. Training with these players is not enough. You gotta let him play. So hopefully he could be. I think personally, you go out there, you get a proven forward in the summer, one that could score you 25, 30 goals, because Rashford's not there yet, and also too he needs the competition, and then have Rashford and Greenwood come off the bench.
T Ballard says Young is one of the worst all-time players for Manchester United, and. What has Lingard done? Says Wallata.
I thought he showed.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say he's done nothing. He came in and he got dressed for the game. That was about it.
Apparently, Rahul says that the commentator just said it looks like Phil Jones is injured.
So there's another substitution we could waste.
Yeah, and
actually would be so like him too. So you can't get Gomez and Garner on because you have to make a substitution for Phil Jones. That would be so like him.
T-Rex Go Get It says Ollie's first move this summer is to get that number 10 off Trashy's back. Maybe this number 10 shirt would inspire Pogba if he stays. We need Van der Beek. I think Rashford and Lingard are a massive problem because you wouldn't sell them, but
no,
they're
not at
so
all.
bad. They're so bad.
Well, speaking of Van der Beek, I was actually watching Ajax before I got on the phone with you, and they were winning 2-1, and he actually just scored a really good goal for them because they're actually level on points with PSV, so they need to win out. If PSV wins out, they're going to finish level on points, but they'll have the better goal difference for the Dutch title. So, watching a bit of that, they're a good team to watch, exciting to watch, better than what I'm watching now. But
It doesn't take much, does it?
Just quick on, going to ask you a controversial question, but if you could, I wouldn't say who's your favorite Man City player, but who's the Man City player that you respect the most? Because for me, Aguero all day. Unbelievable! I would have killed to have him at United when they first left Atletico.
Yeah, I do like Aguero. I'm a big fan of David Silva as well. I think he's a very, very good player. But I was asked the question before you came on, which is the one player you would take from Liverpool, and I said, look, there's so many players at Liverpool that would improve us, but I would take Van Dijk because I just think that sort of domineering centre-back who's a leader would really help us out. It's close because I think Fabinho over Matic would improve us a lot as well. But, Aguero, I don't think I could argue much with Aguero. And I think that United would benefit massively from a player like that.
It just always seems to come up with the big goals, man. Like, it wouldn't surprise me today if he goes on and gets the winner or scores a hat-trick. Like, that's just the type of player he is. We haven't had a player like that in 6 years. Since Van Persie, really.
There will be a match of the day tonight, Mr. Electric 8837. It's a big one tonight, isn't it? For Ollie, Jonah and Youngie leaders playing with the youth, says T. Ballard. There's talk of a second City goal. It's not flashed up on my screen yet, so I'm not going to confirm that. But what will it take to get Young off free kicks? Says Ashwari. Well, to be honest, it's normally Rashford, isn't it? So
yeah, well, to get Young off free kicks, get him out of the team. That's a start. No goal from City. Still 1-1.
Yeah, still 1-1 in the City game. Yeah, remember, United actually are losing this game, by the way. It may be a fruitless end of the season game, but they are still losing it. And apart from Greenwood, not much going on.
Not at all. And now they got Lingard playing in the midfield. I'm so confused, to be all honest with you. Like, Pogba's just had a shot there. It's gone off Greenwood. He was offside, but there's no shape. That's probably the most alarming thing. There really is not any shape right now. There's no positional sense. Greenwood's doing the best of a bad bunch, really. He is playing well, but he's the only person who has any positional sense out there. I think the thing is about this game is that Arsenal are still drawing with Burnley, and for people who don't want to run the risk of having a early July Europa League qualifier, if the result stays the same in the Arsenal-Burnley game and United go on to win, they would finish 5th, whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people just talking about Pogba in there. I mean, of course, it wouldn't be a United game if Pogba wasn't getting a bit of stick. I mean, what I would say is that Paul Pogba, when he's got games against Huddersfield and Cardiff, he is the sort of quality player on paper that he probably should be taking hold of the game. But if he's already checked out, I think he already has. I mean, Pogba looks terrible for a 90 million man, says Mark Palfrey. I mean, I suppose that's what I was trying to say in many ways, is that, look, it's not that, for me, it's not, I'm picking on Pogba, because that's not what I'm doing. He's a good player. But I do agree with people that he probably should be doing a little bit more a player of his quality against people like Cardiff and Huddersfield. But the players he's got, I don't know. I just think Pogba's going to go anyway. Somebody just said they're very confused about this team. It doesn't seem to have any fluidity.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It doesn't make any sense where they are. And Young just gave away a free kick in a dangerous area, and Phil Jones almost turned it into his own net, but he cleared it. Now I'm looking at the sidelines, and it looks like they have Angel Gomez and trying to see who else warming up, but I don't know where you'd put him on right now anyway. But the thing with Pogba is I just think he knows what a good player he is, and when he plays, I think that's why he struggles against lesser opposition. I think he thinks, I think he knows that he's better than every player that they have out there, but he doesn't want to put in the minutes. He just thinks he's going to coast and have a good game, and I think that's part of the problem. Got Greenwood on it here. Greenwood's put it just wide off the side netting. Actually had a good chance, and for some reason he went with the outside of his left foot when it was probably easier to just hit it with his right. It was Rashford played him in. It was good counter-attack.
He could have had a couple of goals, couldn't he? Havish Camille Shahari says, speed and pace is good, but we need players who are good with the ball at their feet. Currently our players can't hold the ball, control it or dribble. Massive summer ahead for Manchester United. And I think City have scored now. Laporte, I'm getting.
Let's have a look. Well, I wouldn't throw Wolves out either. I think Wolves are going to go on and draw this game. To be honest.
But I've got to say, look, I've got no sympathy for Liverpool because I support Manchester United and nobody should have any sympathy for them. But what I would say is that City just seem to be bantering them the way that to this title. They give them a chance. I mean, they even go 1-0 down to Brighton and then instantly equalise and then they're back in front again. It is, and I was speaking to some Liverpool fans today, and they were saying we're just ridiculously proud of them. And I said, look, that's really, really fair play. I take my hat off to you if you're proud of finishing second. Personally, maybe it's because of all the times we've won that you have that winning mentality at United. I would just be pissed off that we've got so many points. We finished second. We were clear at Christmas, and we finished second because no one remembers second place. But I suppose they've got the Champions League to fall back on. Greenwood should have scored there, says a few people in the live comments. But I don't think. I think if Lukaku was missing these chances, we'd be going mad. But I just think it's the encouraging thing is whether he scores or not. It's the positions he's getting into and the fact that he's not in awe of this level of football physically, and I think that's a big thing for Greenwood. He looks a proper player.
Yeah, no, he does, and. Just quickly before we get on him, Phil Jones just got taken apart by a guy who's about 5 inches shorter than him and weighs about 80 pounds less, and who actually beat him to a header and just headed wide. Now Cardiff are looking to get another goal, and De Gea makes a great save. This one was going in the top corner. Could have been 2-0. But yeah, on Greenwood, the thing is that, much like when Rashford burst onto the scene, his movement is so good, and that's kind of the way that I see Mason playing. Just the way he's moving towards the goal is excellent. The finishing will come. It's his first game, so first start anyway. So definitely a positive. But
I think the interesting thing is with Greenwood, for those people who don't know much about the youth, with Greenwood, if you've been looking at what he's been doing and the goals, I'm not going to put my hands up and say I watch every youth game. I don't, but I certainly watch the highlights during the week. And the thing about Greenwood is technically he's brilliant. With Rashford, if anyone can remember, with Rashford was not being touted to come through the youth setup at all. A lot of people felt that he wouldn't come through the youth setup. He really came from nowhere. Greenwood, you never know what's going to happen. Rashford could have a better career than Greenwood, but Greenwood actually does have... a lot of people have been talking about him for a long time. Technically, he's a very, very good player. Rashford, I don't think many people predicted Rashford was going to make it for United, so fair play to him. We're so stagnant in play, no movement off the ball, says Hashtaka.
Yeah, no, we are. Yeah, just Rashford. They just did a long free kick up to Rashford, who was kind of just him chasing down the ball. Looked like he got fouled, but no call from the ref. Actually, probably just tripped on his own feet. But yeah, no, Rashford wasn't supposed to be. I had never heard of him prior to him getting called up before the midget line game when he scored the 2 goals, and that was only because Will Keane got hurt that he came up in the first place. So
exactly. What was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say now. Totally drawn a blank. Bit like United. No, it's gone. A few people saying Ollie out. That's what I was going to say. Watching Jones, Smalling and Young still playing on this team saddens me. Plus the team looks so out of shape. No game plan, nothing. Love the show. Just kick off. Thanks for the contribution. I mean, look, I think everybody's starting to mentally check out with United, and I totally understand why. I mean, I must admit, thinking about this game today, I'm more looking forward to Game of Thrones tomorrow. But it's like, I'm just like, this is not a surprise to me. I mean, United could win this game, but where are the senior players? Greenwood's the standout player. Where the hell are the senior players? I mean, even people like McTominay, I don't think he's had a particularly good game by the sounds of it either, and it's just the whole team there's clearly a problem. MM Production says Ollie isn't it, Mark, get him out. Look, whether Ollie is it or not, I think the problem for me is the squad. He's a joke, an absolute joke.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, you know what it is. It's not the way that they're playing that's the confusing part, because I think they do have an idea of how they want to get forward and how they want to pass. It's some of the passing, the flicks that they do. They try these 1-2s and with 8 players around them that are never going to work, and the mentality's not there. There's no desire to win the ball back. Besides 2 guys. As I say that, Andreas comes in 2-footed, gets the yellow. But McTominay not much. Your senior players, Lingard, awful. I mean, at halftime he should be off, and they should bring on Gomes at halftime, and then go to either 3-5-2 or something, because play him as an attacking midfielder, get Lingard off the field, get Gomes on.
Well, Aaron Gillespie says we've been playing bad since April Fool's. Very funny. I think we've been playing a lot worse than that for a lot longer than that. Ollie at the wheel, says Lucas Martinez. I mean, that song seems so long ago. So long ago, doesn't it? But, it's still a valid point, because the contrast is ridiculous, isn't it? The contrast from where we were to where we are, it's very, very, very sad. I've got to laugh at Enyami. I'm going to give him a shout out here, because he's just come into the live comments and said you're losing to a relegation team. I don't know what that statement's meant to do, but I'm going to applaud you for it, because I think we're all meant to go, whoa. Mate, we're long past that. The United stand's never been that. We don't get wound up by rival fans taking the mickey out of us, because we're more than receptive to do that ourselves. We know we're crap and we accept it. So if you're trying to banter us for losing for Cardiff, there's no banter to be had. We're terrible. I actually said this against the Huddersfield game, actually, Dan, that I think if we had another 10 games left in this season, I'd seriously worry about where we'd finish, because we don't look like we can buy a win at the moment, home or away. I think if we had another 10 games, we would be in danger of finishing like 10th or 12th. I really do think that if we had another 10 games, we'd struggle to win 2. I think we're really bad at the moment. The form is terrible.
I agree. It's been that terrible. I'm just looking around, like when I look at this team, and obviously you have Greenwood in there today, but bar him, everybody on this team, I just feel like I could. I mean, Delo too. He's played well, but everybody else, I just feel like I don't even care if they stay or go. Next year, like when the season starts, if none of these players are on the roster, I could really give a shit.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it sounds like Pereira's done all right as well. All right.
He's played okay, but the last 20 minutes he hasn't done much, and that's might not be because he's been on the ball. But I mean, I'm just looking around, and I'm just so like they're just so void of any sort of, I don't know. Like this team is just, I don't even know what the hell I'm watching. Like, you know what is funny, because when Ole came in, like, not to romanticize it, but like when he came in, like I was falling back in love with the club, because they were playing the way that we're used to watching them play. Yeah. And then the last 3 months, I'm kind of like watching these Mourinho teams, like just players that are just wandering around, not giving a shit.
Well, we know the thing is we know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as an ex player of the club, and he knows, and we know, I know it's Mulder and Cardiff, but we know he wants to play a certain brand of football as well. So it's like, if he can't get these players to do it, I mean, Chronic Sway says Ollie's a shit manager, Cardiff fired him, for God's sake. Well, managers have been fired and they're still good managers. But I think the more worrying thing is that even Mike Phelan was assistant manager to Sir Alex Ferguson. It's not just Ollie, it's Mike Phelan as well, and they can't get these players to do it. So that just shows you how bad these players are. And look, running around on that pitch today, you can say whatever you like about Pogba. I mean, the mythical bad attitude, or whether it's true, whatever. But what's not mythical is that Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard and Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, and you've got a mixture of youth, people who've been here since they were kids. You've got people who've been here for many years, and they're crap. This is it. It's not. They're absolutely crap. Like, they're crapper than what they are. Like, Lingard's not this bad, really. I mean, whether he's good enough to play week in, week out, he's not actually as bad as he's been for the last 2 months. And the same for Rashford. Rashford's actually not a bad player, but he has been for 2 months, and that's what I don't understand, Dan. I don't understand why we've suddenly gone so bad. And I think we're at the half time, are we?
Yeah, it is half time. They were just showing a little bit of the Wolves and Liverpool, the end of the first half. Wolves actually hit the post. So that's going in 1-0 to Liverpool. And then Lewis Dunk just had a free kick that Ederson had to save, but that's going in 2-1 to City. So it is halftime all around. United have done nothing. Maybe a couple shots on target. That was about it. Greenwood, best player on the pitch by far for both teams. Never a penalty given away by Delo. Everybody else, Andreas, good 20, 25 minutes. Since then, not much. Everybody else missing in action. Whatever, bin them all if you have to.
Well, Samuel R says, if United sack Ollie, I'm done with this club. This is coming from Paul Merson, who is full of shit. Like, we are not sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Whether you want him to be sacked or not, we won't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if we lose today. That's not going to happen. We may well be a pantomime as a football club, but that's not going to happen. But what concerns me the most about Manchester United at the moment is that, look, was I excited about this game today? No. The best thing is that Mason Greenwood has played, and he's played well. That is it. But what I am ridiculously confused about is the people like Marcus Rashford, Paul Pogba, Phil Jones, Ashley Young, Jesse Lingard. These are senior pros of Manchester United, and they have checked out for the last 2 months. Not just today. It's Huddersfield, it's Everton, it's City, it's Chelsea, it's every other game. What is going on with these players? And then you've got Ander Herrera, who doesn't play today, even because he's leaving, and it's sour grapes. If he'd have been on that pitch today, you'd have a very, very different thing going on, because he actually gives a shit about the club. He actually will not stop running. And yet we've got... I am massively confused what's going on with Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard. These are kids... They've been at the club since they were kids. They know what this club's all about. It's ingrained in them what's expected of you as a Manchester United player. And they are shit. And I don't have the answer. I'm just stating the facts here. They are absolutely disgraceful. I don't know what's going on at Manchester United, but they've checked out. They've all mentally checked out, and I don't understand why. It's the last game of the season. There's no real pressure. You've got a young lad playing up front, Mason Greenwood. He's running his heart out. He's showing some bits, but nobody else is really doing anything. And it's really, 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 really odd. Welcome to Piv Boy, the latest member of the club. But yeah, it's really, really weird. Really weird. I mean, it's definitely not a penalty, Dan. We've got to say that. But I don't think many people are really bothered. It's not a penalty. We're losing 1-0. But we don't deserve to be 1-0 up. I mean, to be fair, Greenwood probably could have scored a couple of his chances. But apart from Greenwood, it's been a disgraceful performance from United.
Yeah. I mean, we really can't say that we should be losing. But then again, you can't say we should be winning because we haven't done enough in front of goal. We've had a couple decent chances. Yeah, Greenwood, the finishing will come. I'm more so happy that he's getting into the positions and he's getting the opportunities right now, in his first start. But like you said, what the hell's going on? You got guys out there that, they've been at this club for, going on 8 years doing nothing. Then you have guys like Jesse and Marcus that are out there and they're doing next to nothing as well. And, but this has been going on for the past couple months. And to me, was the most disappointing thing about seeing the lineup today. You know what you're getting with these players. Yeah. You have nothing to gain by playing them.
I was very surprised to see Lingard starting, actually, because he's so badly out of form and he's had such a bad season. And Rashford again, I don't really see what we learned from picking Rashford. He's been so bad for 3 months. I mean, how bad must Martial be to not be given the chances that Rashford's had? And Rashford's been
no, totally agree. And also the thing with Rashford is they keep claiming every week that he's hurt, but then they keep rolling him out there to play in games that don't mean anything. There's no
point. Be off with England in a couple of weeks as well, so he doesn't get the rest anyway.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Havash Kumar Chakragi says, the truth is the expectations on Manchester United to win games is because of our past, not because of on paper we have good players. We've got the worst team in the top 6. Well, we certainly have at the moment. Turbo Warrior 343, I know it's easier said than done, but we must be absolutely patient. It's sad to see Ander and Antonio leave. Wish them both the best of luck. And Kieran says, if Ollie gets off to a bad start next season, do you have faith in him to turn it around? I'm losing faith in his decisions, and today's lineup hasn't helped. I mean, that's a very interesting point, Kieran, and we'll discuss that for a moment before we talk about the changes I think we should be making at half time. But it's all if buts and maybes, Dan, because we don't know who was going to go and we don't know who we're going to sign. But there is certainly, in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's short period as being Manchester United manager, there is a theme here. When things are going well, it goes well. When things go bad, it goes bad. We seem to get, I mean, if you look below me there, our last 6 games, draw, loss, win, loss. Whereas if you look at the first 3 months, it was mainly wins. He doesn't seem to be able to grab any consistency. The team seems to either be in a high or a rut. If we have a bad start to the season next year, you almost feel like that bad start will continue for a while, and our season will be over by October. Just a massive summer, and Ollie may well be not the manager that's right for United, but I still come back to the same thing, that I just feel it's the playing squad is just not good enough.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I need to see what happens. We all do. We need to see what happens in the summer. Obviously I concur with what Kieran was saying and what you were saying there about, in games like this especially, why even play Smalling and Jones and Young? Like, what's the point? But if we have a summer and we bring in players in those positions, or we have the the preseason tours and we have our the training in the preseason, and then we're still going out there and I wouldn't say game 1, but by game 4 or 5 we're still seeing Jones, Smalling and Young and players like that, and they're playing poorly, then you're going to have to questions are going to be asked about the manager, and that's just the way it's going to be. If they have basically a whole new team out there next year, I think there's going to be a lot of patience. I think there would be patience with the fan base. If you have a Daniel James in there, or a Declan Rice, or Harry Maguire, players like that, I think there'd be a lot of patience if they didn't start off very well.
Yeah.
But if they don't start off very well and they're playing the same players that are playing today's game, there's going to be no time for it. There'll be no tolerance for it. So, and that's the biggest mystery of all. But I guess in 2.5 months, 3 months, we'll find out.
Suleiman009 says there's an English breed and there's bias, and Ian Sheedy, when Greenwood finds the net, the floodgates might open. He is a talent. And Avishek Chachaji says, worry is players have player power culture like Chelsea. Ollie massaged the egos. When that stopped, they exited. Also, Ollie is irritating me with his teams. And Stephen says, Ollie playing Young is the same as Jose playing Fellaini. Baffling that he keeps starting him, waiting for Solskjaer to say, I'll make you love him. Well, I mean, Ashley Young is, he is 34, isn't he? So, and Kai Boo says, Ollie has no experience to rebuild the squad. Might as well ask him to rebuild skyscrapers. He has similar qualifications to do both, which is none. And this is something we do need to be careful of, Dan, is that the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he does need to be careful with the likes of, with Young and Jones and people like that, because I think there is a sympathy with Ollie that he's inherited a very odd set of players, but he doesn't need to compound that by the squad selections. And at half time now, if I was in charge, from what I'm listening to you and listening to what people are saying, reading what people are saying in the live comments, I would make changes. Now unfortunately, we know Valencia has to come on because he's got to get his swan song. If Mata's leaving, you feel Mata's got to come on as well. So that's 2 of your 3 substitutions on sentimentality, which you shouldn't really be doing. For me, I would definitely get Lingard off, and I would consider getting Angel Gomez on. And I would probably try to get Rashford off and get Martial on. But that's 2 out of 3 substitutions. And we know he can't do that because he's got to do the sentimentality route.
Yeah. That's the trouble. So I'd say definitely Valencia will come on for sure. The thing about Mata is, you'd probably think that if he is going, they would bring him on. But then again, Herrera's going, and they haven't even put him on the bench today. So who the hell knows, really, with that one. You'd probably say definitely.
Do you want Mata to stay or go? Because I actually do want him to go. I think that I like Mata. I really like Mata. But I think his age, I think he's dropped off a lot this season. I would just like Mata. Mata is a player I would say is a squad player, and we should move him on. But if he doesn't come on, that probably means he's going to stay.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword with him. But I'd say right now, in my heart of hearts, as a player, he should be moved on. But I think that if they are going this route with getting young players and young talent, I do think he should stay, because I think he will get the younger players to buy into what the club is all about. And the other players that are there won't do that, mainly because they don't get it. And that was such a big thing about Herrera leaving. I think he would have helped. If you get these younger players, these Daniel James types, they'll tell them what the club means. I think better than a Phil Jones could. I think Phil Jones and an Ashley Young, I don't really think they get it. I think actually the Spanish players get it more than they do.
100%.
But I think that if they're going that route of bringing in younger players, I'd say keep them on. But if they're going to be bringing in, as I know Malcolm from Barcelona, they're looking to move him out, and he is a right winger. So he is an option. But if they're going to be bringing players like that are already established at big clubs, but can be had for less money, I'd say get rid of them. But if you're bringing in young players, really young players that are more or less nobodies, I'd say keep them on. So it's going to be tough.
Keshaf says that Marcial, Gomez, and Garner were all warming up. Well, they won't all get on because he is going to bring Valencia on, isn't he? Because he's going to do that 100%. Unfortunately. We've got a contribution from Andrew Rossi. He says everyone's on holiday. The fans deserve better. Talking about being on holiday, it's the last game for Manchester United today, but the United stand doesn't stop. Every morning at 7 a.m. we've got Transfer Daily. Any big transfer news, people going or not, will go live. And 8 o'clock every night we're live as well. So make sure you subscribe, get your notifications on. It's going to be a big summer. It's been a shit season. I can't dress that up anyway. But it's going to be a big summer. One way or the other, we're going to see a lot of players going out and hopefully a lot of players coming in. So, as soon as this game's over, we can switch off, reset, and just look to the future. And I think, transfer summer, in August, we might look back on it and say it's been a disaster. But at least for 2 or 3 months, we can just sit here and be hopeful because we need some bloody hope. We really, really do. So subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Paul Massey says, what player in his right mind will sign for United? Never wanted Ollie, does not have the name to attract players. United fan since 1959, most dejected I've ever been. And I think that's very, very interesting because I've been a United fan since the 80s. I've never known a set of players I've disliked so much. And I hate to say it. But I have spoken to United fans who've been fans, they remember the 70s where we got relegated. And they're saying, look, yeah, we got relegated, but there wasn't a dislike for that team like there is for this. It's a horrible thing. Kean Roper says, I feel like Lingard just isn't good enough for this team. I think when you take away the fact that Jesse's a local lad and he's been part of the youth setup, I think if he was Alexis Sanchez or we'd bought him from somewhere, I think he'd get booed. I do. I think Lingard, over the last season, if he hadn't come through the youth setup, I think he'd be in big trouble, Dan. I think that protects him. I think the fact that and it does with me as well, I sort of give him a get out of jail card every time because I think, well, I've never liked him as a first teamer, but as a squad player, he runs around a lot. And he has got a bit of flair, but I think his form recently has been shocking. And I think if he wasn't from the youth and he was a signing, I think he'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, totally. He's a local dude. He's from Warrington, which is not too far away. The thing is that he's also big with the community. He's big in the community, which definitely helps his cause. Is he any better than Tom Cleverley was? Probably not. Let's just call it what it is. He's had in his whole United career, what has he had? He scored a winner against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, and he had a good 3 months 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, he had the purple patch of 2 months, didn't he? Like you say, and that was it. And everyone suddenly was calling him Messi Lingard.
Martial coming on, Mark. He's actually coming on for Phil Jones. So.
Oh right, okay. So have we kicked off yet?
Not yet. I don't know if that means McTominay is going to go back into the back four. They're going to play back three, but
Well, there was talk that Phil Jones was carrying an injury. We've had a super chat here from Ishitaka. He says, thoughts on Hussam R as our transfer target, an amazing prospect. We clearly need to buy players for the whole back line and play youth in attack. Well, transfers are going to take care of themselves, aren't they? Let's see if United can take care of themselves in this second half. As soon as it kicks off, let me know, Jared, and also, sorry, Dan. I always do that. I always do that.
That's all right.
Jared as well. And now I will start the timer.
Yeah. We're on. It's going on 35 seconds gone just now. So, it looks like they got McTominay in the back four. So all he's doing a Mourinho.
Has he got a centre back on the bench though? I know Valencia's on the bench. I don't think he's got a centre back on the bench, has he? Because Lingard's not there.
No, I don't think they did either. But
it's as you said, isn't it? Jones being injured has probably now prevented Gomez or Garner coming on, because we know Valencia is going to be one sub, and I think Mata might go as well, so that would mean he's got to come on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you said, the cycle of Jones, so typical, But he'll be fit, for opening day next year, so we'll have that to look forward to. Thank God.
Exactly.
What a waste of time. I remember when he first came, Phil Jones, I was actually really excited to see him play, because I remember watching him at Blackburn and thinking that this guy is built like a train. He'll just go in there and run everybody over. He's much like a Steve Bruce type, and God, what a mistake everyone was making there.
A lot of people on Twitter saying this job is too big for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Newton Health says that subpar season for United, but amazing season for the United stand. Thanks to the whole crew for giving the fans something to look forward to. Well, thanks to all you lot, because United stand actually started because I was getting fed up of just watching United and going on forums and it being really slow to react. And the United stand is obviously live and interactive, so we get... It is therapy. It is therapy. And when things are going bad, you bloody need it, because otherwise you just sat stewing in your own whatever. So thank you to all you lot. And as I said, the summer's going to be massive, so don't think it's the end of anything. The United stand is 24/7 every day of the year. What is your thoughts on VAR for next season? Sorry, Dan, go on.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, Delo just had a decent chance. Just went over the bar, found himself in all sorts of space, so slipped a little bit on the shot. But in the first 2.5, 3 minutes, they're definitely getting forward very well, and I'd be surprised if they didn't score a goal or two in this half for sure. It's just a matter of if we could keep Cardiff out, which sounds laughable, but the way our defense is playing, now we got McTominay back there. We don't know what the hell's going to go on.
Well, I'd like Martial to get a couple of goals. Philip Richardson said, what is your thoughts on VAR for next season? I'll tell you what, Dan, that's a very interesting thing, the VAR next season. That's going to have a very, very very big impact on it. And welcome to Funny TV, the latest member of the club. But yeah, VAR next season, I mean, you think about the Champions League, I mean, whether you're pro VAR or not, it will make a big, big difference next season.
Yeah, I think, honestly... I know it kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit with the delay. I think they've actually done a good job this year in terms of keeping the delay to a minimum. It seems like they get the decisions in rather quickly from when they first rolled it out. But if we had it, it wouldn't have been a penalty today. That's for sure. I think it'll be good, because I think it's you're not leaving any room for error, because a lot of these referees aren't fit to referee, so to speak. And there's a lot of bad decisions, especially with a lot of biased referees, your Mike Deans and, Michael Oliver and people like that. So I think it'll actually be better for the game until they find better referees, really.
We'll move on from VAR because Aaron Noonan doesn't like it. But, the reality is next season it's going to be very, very difficult for everybody. Simon Wadsley's another one saying he's got very serious doubts about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think until I've said this, and I'm going to stand by this. I think until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had a summer, I think next season, if it's October and he's picking Phil Jones and Ashley Young, that's when you start to have your doubts. When we're dropping points next season, that's when you have your doubts. I think at the moment he needs the benefit of the doubt, and he might be right. He might not be good enough. I've always said that. I want him to be successful. I wanted him to get the job. I really do. but I can't give you any guarantees. But I don't think we can start judging Ollie till next season, Dan. That's my feeling.
No, I agree. I think that I actually think that right now they have the perfect manager in place for what is taking place at the club. I think they do need a total rebuild, and if you're asking for a manager, like, that should be a free kick. Another referee that doesn't know what he's doing. Kind of had Martial in one-on-one. There was a really good pass made. I believe it was from Herrera, and got taken out by Morrison, and it wasn't even a free kick. He's got two hands around his waist. It would have been a free kick just outside the area, but there's no call on it. So there you go with your bad refereeing. But no, I think they have the perfect manager in place for what's about to happen with the players going out. So I just think that if you look around Europe and you think of other managers, if they brought in a Pochettino or a Allegri type, they're not going to be able to go out and get young players that are developing. They'd be out there getting Dybalas and players like that, and I think that would just set us back even further. So I think they got the right guy. He just needs the right players. So.
Do you think Pogba's gone this summer?
Yeah, I think he will be, because he's easier to move. It depends on what happens with Raiola's situation, but he's easier to move than, like I said, than De Gea. I think De Gea is going to be tough to not get rid of, because I don't think the club's trying to get rid of him. I think it'll be tough for him to leave, because I don't see a lot of teams that will take a goalie like him aside from PSG and Juventus, really. Like I said, Real would have to get rid of Courtois to bring him in. And I think that would be harder to do, because where you're going to sell Courtois, his asking price will be too high. Zidane likes Navas, so can't see him going to Barcelona. Ter Stegen's there. Would he go back to Atletico? They have Oblak, so it's going to be. I think it'll be tougher for him to find a club than Pogba. I think Pogba could go to anywhere. PSG, he could go back to Juventus, Barcelona, Madrid. It doesn't really matter. So.
I've only just realised that John Moss is the referee. He is a fat turd. I mean, it doesn't make me
terrible.
He's an awful referee. He is. And I'm sorry, I don't like to be fattest. I always stick up for Luke Shaw. But for a referee, he doesn't look anywhere near fit enough. And I think that's why he makes so many mistakes, because he's not up with the play. He's absolutely knackered. Philip Richardson says, thanks for United Stand getting me through the year. Great channel from everyone involved in Dublin. Why can't Ferguson be our director of football? I think Sir Alex can't be anything now other than retired. I think he's had his time and he deserves it. Shresh Banerjee says, watching along with you lot has been the best. Our season has gone worse. Tired of seeing City winning and us watching from the side. Sick of it. Well, I think Dan touched on it there. It's a rebuild for United. It might not work, but I think as soon as you put your patient gloves on and realise that we're going to have to be patient, you've then you're putting your faith into the fact that it works. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting at United over the next. It's always interesting at United, but I think it's an exciting time. But on the same hand, it could be a very it might get worse. You said it might get worse before it gets better, Dan, and it might be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I really am. I'd probably say I'm more excited for this summer than I was for the summer when they had won the Europa League, when Griezmann was supposed to come. I'm probably more excited for this summer, because I think that we were just falling into the same trap of trying to just replace players with players on high wages and things like that. Like I would say that I think if they finished fourth this year, hold on a second, Cardiff are in here. That's 2-0.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You're joking me. You're joking me.
I'm 100% serious. And
this is a joke. This is a joke. I tell you what, real. This United team has got more dicks than a prostitute's ever had. It's a joke. How can you be 2-0 down to Cardiff? How can you be 2-0 down to Cardiff? I mean, I haven't even seen it, but it's just farcical.
Well,
Who's at fault?
I'll tell you right now. So McManus, playing at center back, just gets out-muscled by a guy who's half his size. And then it kind of just looks like when you're playing FIFA and you have a 2-on-1 and all you got to do is just square it across the box. That's pretty much what happened. Guys are just all over the place. Smalling's trying to chase, a shadow. Basically, he's trying to chase a shadow. When you watch this one back, you'll just laugh, because McTominay he got destroyed. He got destroyed by a guy who's, like I said, Juan Mata size.
Well, that's what happens when you've got no centre-backs on the bench.
Oh boy. Now I'm looking. At they got they got Oli on camera, right? And they got Kieran, McKenna, and Carrick, and I'm just looking at them like, what the hell is anyone even doing? No one's doing anything about it. They're all just sitting there. Like, I understand it's the last game of the season, but
yeah, but
I don't know,
you
man.
can't have this. It's not, I know it's been a bad season, but you can't have this. You can't have this. I know we're not interested, and a lot of us aren't interested because we're a joke, but you can't have Cardiff coming to Old Trafford and beating you 2-0. I mean, there's checked out, and there's like, I said this about this team when he picked it. I think today he's picked the players that he likes and he trusts. Well, because Young and Jones and Smalling have been there for years, and he loves Rashi, and he likes Pogba and McTominay, and he, will give Greenwood a start, but really I'm going to play everyone I like. But, like and effort is not talent, and they're just not good enough. They're not good enough by a long, long way. But you can't be losing 2-0 to Cardiff. Like, you can't be doing that. It's just, I don't care whether it's the last game of the season or not. You can't do that. You just can't. There's no excuse. No excuse at all.
No, Rashford just had a free header, and he heads it straight at the keeper. It actually goes off Greenwood's back. He made a good save, but I think they're calling it an offside on Greenwood. So, yeah, I mean, it's just fucking, sorry for the swearing, but my God, it's just what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. The Arsenal will draw with Burnley. There would have been a chance to actually get fifth, and then Watford will win the FA Cup, and then we'll be playing football in July with and Phil Jones would be out there for that because they wouldn't have any time to get a centre back by then. So.
Well, that's a very valid point as well. It's the fact that, as much as I don't give a shit where we finish because we're terrible, actually, if we could have finished fifth today, then we should have finished fifth today because it prevents that nightmare. Because we're on tour as well. We're on tour at that time. So what do? The tour is planned and, you've got to fulfill it. So what do? Play the youth in the Europa League and then miss out on the Europa League? I don't know. I mean, I've got mates who don't support United. Thanks, Stevie. He's just messaged me with ouch. Ouch. Sorry. So it's just. I don't think any United fan is like. Well, I think we're beyond furious. I think we're just like confused now. I think the days for ranting are just gone. Leave that to bloody Pratt in the hat at Arsenal because it's not even worth ranting about. It's just consistently terrible.
Damn.
Arsenal apparently are winning anyway, I think.
Oh, right. All right. Yeah.
So at least we're not going to have that situation. But as I said when they scored, the prostitute's not seen as many dicks as we've got on that team. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. They're a bunch of dicks. I'm sorry. I'd love somebody to tell them that as well. They are a disgrace to the shirt. They are. I think there's only going to be. Like Mason Greenwood, it's basically his debut, isn't it? And I think he's been fantastic. But for the rest of them, I mean, again, I'm not going to pick on one player. I'm going to mention a few. Paul Pogba should be doing a lot more. Lingard should be doing a lot more. Rashford should be doing a lot more. Ashley Young's the captain of what? What is Ashley Young the captain of? I really say, I've got to say that. What is he the captain of?
Martial with a very good shot there, really good save by Etheridge. That looked like that was heading in. So, but yeah, I agree with you. Captain of nothing. Got players out there that it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Another corner. McTominay missing the ball completely. On the
a lot of people are starting to say I'm wondering whether Ollie's good enough. I mean, again, I'm just going to reiterate what I've said. Until next season, we won't know. But it could be one of two things, couldn't it? It could be, maybe regardless of the players, maybe we should be getting more out of them tactically.
Yeah, I don't think some of the formations helped, especially not today either. I think they started out with Greenwood up front, then he was on the right, then he was on the left. I think that's too much going on for a player making his Premier League debut. I think that's a lot going on, personally.
Well, yeah, because the first 3 months, we mentioned it in the first half, and Steve Howard said there's some worrying comparisons with Ollie and Moyes, but for 3 months he played a formation that even the fans knew what we were doing. It was 4-3-3, high press, and it worked. For the last 2 months, we seem to change every game. And like you say, multiple times in a game. And Killian Willis says, this is crap, hard to watch, support United at the minute. Yeah, I would agree with you, but there is a lot going on. There is a lot of changes going on. And ultimately, I think until next season, we won't know how good Ollie is, because I think you've got to put all the blame at the players. But when Neil Warnock's 2-0 up against you, I mean, you just know how shit you are. Red Devil Fighting says, I hope United fans walk out of Old Trafford 10 minutes before the half. Well, that is interesting. I actually thought the fans would hang about just to sort of like clap Herrera and people like that. But it'd be interesting to see if they do or they don't. Yellow card here for. Has he sent somebody off?
No, it was Jacob Pogba got a yellow card. Fouling Jacob Murphy there, hit him in the face, and probably should have got sent off. If they had VAR, they'd probably review that and probably been a soft red card. But yeah, boy, something else, I'll tell you.
Aaron Stone says Pogba is hungry. I don't know what he's hungry for. Martial's playing great, says Fodchi.
He has, yeah. He's come on and played very well. But, I mean, like I said, it's not hard to do. You're playing a team that's getting relegated, and no one else has been playing well. So,
calm down. We have the greatest manager. Wink, wink, says Biggie Third. Don't know what to say. So sad how far we have fallen, says Subradip Mukherjee. As I said at half time, there just seems to be this thing with Ollie, which is a bit of alarming, because when we're doing well, we can't stop winning. When things are going bad, we can't buy a win. It's look underneath Manchester United, underneath me. If we lose or draw this today, there's more L's and there's more D's than there are W's. We've got one W, and in 2 games' time, that's gone. Greg Williams, thanks for the contribution. Joke of the club. Pogba won't go just yet, says Robbo. I think Pogba does need to go, by the way. Press will be after Ollie all summer after this, says Brandon Coombs. I disagree. I think I've been doing this long enough, and I think you would agree with me, Dan. Once this season's over, you can immediately start hiding behind transfer news and create a buzz. I mean, was it last season we lost the FA Cup final against Chelsea?
Yeah, to Chelsea, yeah.
And we played absolutely shit, and we were an embarrassment, but it got quickly forgotten because the season ends. So, no, it will die very quickly, the frustration, because it will all be replaced by optimism, and then next season it will start again.
Yeah, no, that's usually how it works. That's probably why they started leaking out some of this. I know Daniel James isn't the exciting name everybody wants to hear, but that's probably why they started leaking that out last week, even before the last game, because they knew the Herrera news was coming out. So it's just, it's all politics.
So the front three at the moment, somebody just said we're playing a front three, but why is Greenwood out on the right? I presume Rashford's through the middle.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't even know where the hell Lingard's playing right now. I think he's playing kind of in the midfield as an attacking midfielder. They're all over the place. The only player I've seen stay in his position somewhat has been Martial's on the left. It's really been it. But it's sad. I got Smalling huffing and puffing, chasing after a forward who scored 1 goal this year. This Zahar for Cardiff, and you got Smalling chasing after him like he's going after prime Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo.
Lee Horner says, comes to something when a 17-year-old is the best on the team, major refresh needed. And X-Smash says, Liverpool and Spurs United Champions League final, Arsenal and Chelsea Europa League finals, Chelsea top 4. This sums up our season. We're nowhere near. We deserve to finish 6th, and we will be finishing 6th, regardless of whether we turn this around. What do we got? About 25 minutes, half an hour left?
Yeah, 65 minutes gone just now. Let's see here. They got, Lingard's kind of playing in the middle. A lot of huffing and puffing. A lot of passing around. Herrera. Rashford trying to shoot it past 10 players. Fucking guy, excuse me. He is just, good God, man. He needs to be dropped, now. But
the thing is, I think if this was the first game of the season, he'd have made another substitution by now. But what he's doing is he's trying to hope that this team will get something, then he can do his sentimentality subs of Valencia and Mata. When actually, screw that sentimentality. They're leaving for a reason. Let's try and bloody win this game of football. Because you could argue that Fred's on the bench. He might give us something in the midfield. You could argue that Gomez will give us something as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the thing I was just thinking of is there was some talk earlier on that maybe they would try to sell Bay this summer, and what you're telling me that Eric Bay he couldn't do the same job as Phil Jones today. Play a half and then get hurt, or he couldn't do what Smalling's doing, and it's just you seriously got to start questioning where the loyalties lie, and there definitely is the favoritism with the guys that were there when Sir Alex was there, because I think they're trying to hold on to that. These guys have what it takes, but they don't. They're past it. They've been past it.
Shockingly bad. Before Ollie's legacy is gone, I think he should step down as manager and we should hire Poch by the summer, says Amsterdam 87. Do we need signings to beat Cardiff? It's Ollie out, says Lawrence Dar. And Red Baron says, oh yeah, I can't really read that out, Red Baron, but thanks for that.
Man City up 3-1.
City are 3-1 up, so that is a positive, I suppose, for some, but it's not really a positive, is it? It's just our biggest rival not winning the league. It's not something I'm going to celebrate when we're losing 2-0 to Cardiff. Armen says, how does Rashford start and Martial is on the bench? Rashford's in-game intelligence is shocking.
Yeah, he's bad.
The thing is, I always really did rate Rashford, and for a long time I've just been thinking he's in a bad vein of form. But the trouble is, bad vein of forms, when they go on for as long as they have with him, start to become a consistency. And Ashley Young just always looks like really moody and doesn't realise you're part of the problem, mate. Yeah,
the thing about Rashford is like we were saying earlier, there's no competition for him, so he knows he's going to play every week. He knows he's going to start pretty much every week, regardless of how he's playing. There's no incentive for him to get better, work on the finishing. He's just going to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing until they either A, bring in a better forward option like an Icardi or somebody like that, or B, they get Greenwood in the squad and give him a run of games. So it's just it's the same thing every week.
The thing is, though, I always say this, it's no surprise to me that United struggle because the team isn't good enough. And I think we all want to say, the team should be doing better, and it definitely should do. But Phil Jones, Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, we knew that defence was dodgy, even before a game was kicked. I said about the midfield, McTominay, Herrera and Pogba, I don't think that midfield is actually that good. And most games are won and lost in the midfield. So... we're not even talking about the front three, and Lingard and Rashford are trash at the moment. So why are we surprised that we're losing games? Because I think it's like that comment at half-time. We're judging ourselves on what Manchester United should be, but when you actually look at the players, we're dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And it's not a surprise that we're losing games of football.
Not at all. They're not that good, period. They're not that good. You got players out there. And I can name you better players on other Premier League teams that aren't in the top 6.
Oh, Leicester are a much better team. Much better.
For sure.
Team.
I mean, look at, you have Smalling. Is
Watford
Smalling better than Is Smalling better than Harry Maguire? No. Is Phil Jones better than Harry Maguire? No. That's one player right there, I'd take James Ward-Prowse in this team over Jesse Lingard any day.
Yeah.
Any day of the week. And, there's some sense of entitlement, like, we're Manchester United, we should be rolling over everybody. They players and they aren't even good. They're not even good enough. They're getting mugged off by a relegation side. That's what's happening. Passes going astray. They're all just standing around the box, trying to walk it in the net. Pogba's had to go. It was a good save by Etheridge, but just, it's 20 minutes left. And this has been going on for 2.5, 3 months.
Rafael Mora says, Aubameyang is so bloody good, our strikers are crap. Look, I know he plays for Arsenal and I don't like Arsenal, and Wolves are better as well, and probably Everton are better as well. But I spoke about Aubameyang for years. I don't know why we were never in for Aubameyang. We went for bloody Lukaku. happy days. Look, Aubameyang is a good striker, but he plays for Arsenal now, so.
Lingard just been ran past.
Good shot by Pogba.
Yeah. Lingard just been nutmegged, ran past, and now he's taking the guy out, getting the yellow card. I mean, he has been probably the worst player on the field today. And you'll have people saying, Pogba's been worse, but it's not even close. Jesse Lingard's been the worst player on the field. There you go again. They're in the box.
Cardiff.
Oh, my God. They almost scored again. Everybody's switching off. Ashley Young not even paying attention. They're taking a free kick. He's looking across the field. Oh, God. It's got to end. It's got to end, Mark.
Pampers FC. If you remember, you can use the jelly baby emoji. It was created a couple of weeks ago. I didn't like creating it, but it was created for this football club at the moment. Not for the football club. The club's absolutely fantastic. It was created for the players, and they certainly are. So if you are a member, get those jelly babies up because that's what they deserve. A lot of people saying Ollie out. For me, no. It's next season we're going to have to judge him. We've made our bed. We've got to lie in it. A lot of people saying Pochettino. Well, the club chose Ollie, so And whatever you think about Ollie, I don't think anybody can deny the fact that these players are an absolute disgrace to the shirt. So until we start getting the players in that actually want to play for this club, I don't think you can judge the manager.
I agree. They're an abomination. They are poor. Greenwood, again, skipping past two players. He's been phenomenal. Easily man of the match. Not even close. No one's even touching him. He just actually squared one to Pogba. Got cleared out for a corner. But there you go. We got a cross. Ashley Young can't even beat the first guy. Ugh.
Ali has got to stop playing the old boys to Stephen Diak. Yeah, 100% with that one, mate. And Adam Miller says, thanks for the season, Mark, in the United Stand. What an absolute shit show we've been through. Thanks, Adam. Goal?
Greenwood again, just missing. This was a tough chance because I think it was Rashford who put in the cross. It was one of those really low crosses about chest high. So Mace had to bend down a little bit to get it, and he just glanced it just wide. But really good chance for him, and he's getting in the right areas. So is Valencia's coming on for his swan song?
Cobros Aiken says, I hope Ollie gets an assistant like Qualis. He needs it. David
and they're taking off. Sorry to interrupt you. They're taking off the low for Valencia when they could have just took off Ashley Young. I mean, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, there's 20 minutes left in the game. What are you benefiting by taking the low off and keeping Young on? I'm not following it. I'm not following at all. I'm not following. Oh God, I want to throw up. And Gomes is going to come on for. They haven't put that up yet. He's waiting to come on though. He is on the sidelines. Now Valencia is back to being captain. He looks like he's added about 20 pounds.
Well, we're almost giving the game up, aren't we, by bringing Valencia on because he can't cross his legs. David Neal says, why Ollie out? It's ridiculous. He only showing open wounds. This team ain't good enough to play the way he expects. And William says, Lingard hasn't been bad. Young has been way worse. The whole team is trash. No passion and no fight. So Delo's off for Valencia.
Herrera comes off for Gomez, and they keep on Lingard.
Terrible. Oh, the old boys act has got to stop, hasn't it?
God. And whoever said that Lingard played okay, what were you watching the game on? A Nokia 710? He's done nothing. He's barely touched the ball, and when he has touched the ball, he's given it away. Good God.
Welcome to Daniel Samuel, the latest member of the club.
Keeping on these players and then taking off. I mean, they're taking off. This is the problem, though, and honestly, though, this was the problem when they were winning under Ole. The substitutions are strange, and they were strange when they were winning. They were taking off the wrong guys and at the wrong times. There's 15 minutes left in the game, and if you're going to do this, do it 10 minutes ago. What do you have to lose? It's the last game of the season.
Well, I tell you what, I think if they don't get a goal in the next sort of 5-10 minutes, you might see Old Trafford empty because they're not going to hang around to watch us lose to Cardiff.
It's already starting to empty out a little bit because they're just showing some of the side, the seats on the side there in the Stretford end, and those are pretty. Stretford end's still pretty full, but the seats on the side, I think it's the south stand. They look to be getting a little empty now. You know, they gave Valencia a standing ovation, so 4-1 to City. Gundogan just scored, so that'll wrap it up.
Well, no, I did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But you see, even Brighton gave Liverpool a bit of a hope for a bit, didn't they?
Well, even they scored from open play. When was the last time they've actually scored a decent goal? I know McTominay scored last week against Huddersfield, but that was off a deflection.
I think the only goals we scored from open play in April was the Mata tap-in against Chelsea and McTominay's 2. He got one against Wolves and one last week, which was obviously May. So since April the 1st, we've scored 3 goals from open play, 2 of which have been, hitting hopes by McTominay. And I say hitting hopes, I mean, he did shoot, but, and a tap-in by Mata. Shocking. Some teams are doing that in one game.
Yeah. Well, West Ham scored 3 today, I think. So,
yeah.
there's not even any, there's no invention. It's not, and to be fair, people could have said the same thing under Mourinho, but it's the players. It's so clear it's the players. You can't have the same players in the same season, start terribly like they did, and then go on the streak of games of winning that they did, and then back to being terrible. Nothing's changed really. The formation hasn't changed. I mean, I know we went from 4-3-3 to tweaking with it a little bit, but really the formation hasn't been that much, not drastic enough of a change. It's not like they went to play 4-4-2 or 3-4-3 or something. The formation change wasn't drastic enough to pull out this sort of performance level. It's the players.
Well, we are where we are. I'm actually surprised. To be fair, Mad Marcus did say I was being optimistic, saying a United 3-1 win against Cardiff. I mean, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. That apparently it's optimistic to hope that United would win 3-1 at home to Cardiff. But in fairness, he was right. I was dreaming.
Yeah, I thought it would be a draw, to be honest with you.
It could still be a draw. There's still a chance that United will get a draw. Might be another Burnley situation. We get 1, we get 2. It's just another round of banter, isn't it? It's just another thing, because I think Arsenal, I know they were winning 1-0. I think it might be more than that now.
It was 2-1. Burnley actually, I think they equalised and Aubameyang scored again. So it is 2-1 Arsenal, and Spurs is 2-2 with Everton now.
What's Chelsea Leicester? Because that was always a game when we thought we had a chance of top 4 that we were like, oh yeah, we might. They'll probably beat them.
I think that's 0-0.
All right. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
Chuckle Brothers. Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah. Do you get that over there?
No. I just I spent a little bit of time living over there. Actually in Tipton by Wolverhampton. So
yeah. I know it.
Yeah, my brother he actually trained a little bit with Wolves, I'd say about 7-8 years ago. He's going to the Wolves end of season dinner next weekend. So
they've had a very good season. Certainly had a better season than us.
Yeah, he was actually hoping to go to the FA Cup final, but they blew that against Watford. So that's the thing. That's why I think Watford's got a chance to win it. I just think it's been their year. They had no business even being in the final. Sometimes you got to ride your luck. Yeah,
well,
Chelsea.
My understanding with United is that if we do end up with Watford winning the league, because we are going to finish in 6th, then we will have to play Europa League games in the back end of July, which is when we are on tour. So we will have to honour the tour as well. So I don't necessarily know how that's going to work, but I suppose, well, you'd probably have to would you want to prioritise the Europa League at that point? Because you can't, look at the Burnley start to the season. They were knackered. They had a really bad start, didn't they? It took them a few months to get their season turned around. So
yeah,
I think City will win anyway, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I'd hope so, just so we don't have to have that. Actually, then again, though, playing football in July, you basically get to watch the season a month earlier before it starts. Yeah, so it wouldn't be all that bad. But Rashford had a decent move down the left, tried to cross it in, took a couple deflections, but nothing doing.
I've got a few super chats to read here. Xander Vicky says, "Thank you for all your for being here in the good and the bad times. I appreciate you all." Thank you, Xander. We appreciate you. Ross Gallagher, Greenwood has come in and been the best player today. The senior players should be ashamed of themselves. And Red Baron, ever since Ollie was appointed, we've turned to rubbish. The people who run this club can't run a Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think Greenwood's had a good... I think he probably should have scored, Dan, but I don't think United fans will hold that against him because he's a young player, and I think that will come. United fans are starting to file out of Old Trafford, says Red Devil Fighting. That's going to be embarrassing.
That's what I was saying.
That will be embarrassing.
Empty.
And
looking
Nick
at
Pete
people
says,
walking.
This is beyond low. Anyone listening to this at the stadium, please just walk out now. This is the saddest end of the season in my 35 years of support. Well, Dan will keep an up to date on that from what you can see. But we've got we got about just 10 minutes with stoppage time left, and will people stay to applaud them? They will, because Old Trafford is very, very diverse. You will have people who, basically tourists. It might be their first trip to Old Trafford, or they only get there every now and again, so they'll want to soak up the atmosphere, and that's more important to them than making a statement of dissatisfaction. So there will be fans who wait behind. But Eamon McAllister says, seriously, Ollie has never been good enough. I know the players are not good enough, but neither is the coach. Bite the bullet and get Poch. I can't see that happening in a million years, Dan.
Stranger things have happened. And I will say this, if they win that, I know Pochettino might have been tongue-in-cheek, but Mane's just scored for Liverpool, not like it matters. But it might have been tongue-in-cheek, but he said that he might leave Spurs if they were to win the Champions League, because that would be the pinnacle of being at Spurs. He couldn't do any better than that. So, it's as you know, it's a commercial thing with them. And if they don't see the uptick in, like if they see fans leaving and whatever, this unfollow Man United nonsense and whatever else is going on, they wouldn't have to pay a buyout clause to Pochettino if he resigns from Spurs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's possible, but he did say that that if they won it, he would probably step away. So,
well, I don't think Spurs could win the league. No, I think that Liverpool have shown just virtually the perfect season for them, and still not able to, win the league. So it just shows how hard it is to beat to stop the City thing.
Yeah. Greenwood on the ball here. Greenwood's definitely been the best player on the field. He's doing something. Valencia. I mean, I'm even just watching now, and I know Valencia obviously, he'd get the ball on the right and do 1,000 step overs and wouldn't even cross it. But even he's a better option than Ashley Young, all day long.
Well, I thought those. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Gomez, have we? And I think the question mark about Gomez is whether he's physically ready for it yet. But Greenwood's certainly shown that he is.
Right. The thing about Gomez too is that we really don't play with a player in his position.
No.
Well, I mean, the 4-3-3 doesn't call for that, but I don't know if that's what we're going to stick with. So have to see. Little 1-2 here between Martial and Greenwood, but it's intercepted, and Cardiff are on the attack. Might make it 3. Any plans for the summer, big man? Going away? Doing anything fun with the family?
I will have my week in Mallorca at some point, so I might be meeting the Fruit Man again. But
I was going to say, stay away from the fruit salesman.
But there'll be there'll be you know me, I'll always be streaming and doing stuff, especially with the United. There's always stuff going on. So, but yeah, what about yourself?
Yeah, just hanging around. The usual. Got a game.
You've got your game against the Legends, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes, at the end of June, the club New York Shamrock is playing the Man United Legends. Just confirmed Wes Brown is officially going to play in the game. They already have McClare. I think they're trying to get Lee Sharp still and a couple other players. So,
well, it's funny because I'm meant to be playing at Old Trafford on Wednesday. It's an influencer game against. I think it's meant to be some United Legends, but I don't know until we turn up. And God knows what's going on at United at the moment. They might bloody cancel it. But so yeah, it's a dream come true. Obviously, to play at Old Trafford. I don't know who we're playing against. I'll be happy if I just play for 10 minutes. But
yeah, take a couple blades of grass off the pitch, and holy ground that is.
So what we got left on your clock? We're looking at about 4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
Well, dear.
Jesse Lingard right in front of the goalie. Actually, yeah, that was actually another decent chance for Greenwood. Ball comes across, little cross comes in. I just think he just couldn't get his foot on it. But I think if he made any sort of contact, it was going in the back of the net. But like I said, he's been in the most threatening areas. He's the only guy getting in position.
Well, the worrying thing yet again is that we've had how long?
To get
another
90,
and we just can't score goals.
Yeah, something's got to change. But a couple fans walking out now. 88th minute. Yeah,
still quite a few there. Then I take it.
Yeah, I'd say that aside from the Stretford end, the side stands are getting empty for sure. Ollie's up, clapping. Don't know why.
He's optimistic. He says it himself. He's an optimistic man.
Yeah, the thing is though, like if you're him and you're watching this, how could you sit there and just keep picking Smalling and Jones and Young, and I'm not getting it. I don't get it. Lingard, Rashford, But yeah, about 2 minutes left and then the stoppages.
I really genuinely have to say I did not see this result coming. But anything's possible with this side. Anything is possible. We've got a super chat here from Just Kicks07. Hey Mark, enjoy United stand this season and all the content you gave us over the season. Thank you, all involved with making this channel great. Thanks for all the laughs. Keep it up. Don't forget, we're not going anywhere. Summer gets busier. Mark, thanks for all your work throughout the season, says Jeff Doherty. Thank you. Sean Cade should have waited till end of the season. Poch would have got it based on this. Thoughts, lads, says Sean Cade. I think if they had waited, it would have been Poch, yeah, definitely after this. Ollie needs to go full on Mike Bassett in the dressing room and give them a bollocking. I hope fresh blood and signings play for the badge, says KJM. I'm not going to say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. No. You know with me, I mean, you should know this with me anyway. It took me a long time to go Mourinho out. You lot were Mourinho out at least 8 months before me. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yep, headed into the 90th minute, Gomez just had a shot off a Greenwood pass. This went over, but yeah. Mark, if I can real quick, I just want to shout out my number so I could. I actually had a couple people when I did it with Marcus. I had about 10 people text me with looking for tickets to the game. So. Basically, the club that I play for and also coach, we have a Legends team of guys that were on the club in the 60s, 70s. The club is New York Shamrock, based in New York. New York. We've been around since 1960, so almost been 60 years. We're playing the Man United Legends on June 22nd. It's a Saturday. It's at 2 o'clock up at Gaelic Park in Manhattan. Wes Brown, like I said, Brian McClare, Cleberson's actually going to play in the game as well. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good day out. And also, too, there will be our over 30 team will be playing the League of Ireland All-Star team and the curtain raiser to that. So if you're looking for tickets, they're $10, super cheap. And the number you could reach me at is 347-366-2853. So you can text me, WhatsApp me, and I'll give you the link for the tickets, and hope to see you there. So enjoy it, and I can't thank you guys enough at the United Stand. Congrats on the Football Blogging Awards as well.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here since you guys had about 7,000 subscribers, and what can you say? It's just been a tidal wave of strength for the United Stand, and all you boys make it happen, and girls. And Paul Pogba has a free kick here, so might get one.
I think we can safely say we're not going to get a comeback in this game anymore, regardless of whether Pogba scores from the free kick or not. We ain't winning.
No, he's hit the wall, and then Valencia follow-up goes out of the stadium. And
somebody just said there's loads of empty seats now.
Yeah, it looks pretty dead. And I'm actually going to turn on the volume for the last when the final whistle goes, because I do want to hear how the boo. Yep, everyone's heading for the exits. Ooh, boy, it's a mass exodus now.
Well, they don't deserve it, do they? They don't deserve it. And, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be here next year, but maybe needs to have a long, hard think about who is and who isn't. I'm going to do the player ratings and a match reaction straight after this. So we've still got a couple of minutes left. I mean, get out America and get free healthcare, my Irish brother, says Red Baron. I think there's pros and cons with that, but thanks for coming on anyway, Dan. I must ask you who it might be the most difficult question you're ever going to have today, but who would be the man of the match? Gotta be Mason.
Gotta be Mason Greenwood for me. Close second would have been the ball boy, who was out there fetching all the loose passes. But definitely Mason Greenwood for me. Excited to see if he'll be in the squad in the future. I think he has to be at this point. You can't keep a player like that. In the reserve. So, listen, it's been some season. I do agree with Ole. It was definitely a roller coaster. From where we were with Mourinho to where we were in his first 3 months to where we are now. I think the real players who want to be here have shown that they want to be here, and the ones that are going to walk, they, the exit door's close by. So.
Nick P says, there's part of me who wants to believe Ollie has sabotaged the end of the season just to ensure he's fully back. The players are bad, but this is silly. And Kareem McGarrigle says, I have patience, but will the board have it and let Ollie build the right way? They care about money and no Champions League won't make them in it. Well, they're going to have to be patient because we've just lost at home to Cardiff. They're going to have to be patient because we're crap. So it's not like they've got any choice, but whether they are patient or not is another matter. But they're going to have to be. Because this is dreadful.
Yeah, Greenwood with another shot on target. He's been running his heart out, been playing to his potential for sure. So exciting times ahead for him. The rest of these bunch could care less, really. Got the volume on now. There's 20 seconds left, so I'm interested to see if there's going to be some boos here, because the stadium is empty. It's dead. Oh, yeah. Plenty of boos. A lot of boos. Wow. I'm actually a little surprised. I didn't think there would be that many boos. I think you'd hear a few, but that's actually pretty loud. Wow.
Well, there you go. Manchester United losing to Cardiff 2-0 in a pretty empty stadium. I'm going to do my match reaction. The link is in the video description for that. But I must just say thanks everyone who's been watching the watch-alongs throughout the season. And Dan, thanks very much to you as well, because I know you've done a few for us. And I hope you have a good summer, and we'll look forward to listening about the Legends game as well.
Absolutely, Mark. Really appreciate it. Everybody on the United Stand, if you haven't liked and subscribed, do so. Liverpool didn't win the league, so just like and subscribe based on that. You guys do an awesome job, and be looking forward to speaking to you in the future. All right, boys?
Cheers, Dan. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Take care, man.
You too, pal. And thanks everybody who's been watching today. I'm going to do my match reaction now. The link is in the video description for that. I'll literally be live there in about 60 seconds, talking about the game and about the season and about the next bit and the player rating. So I'll see you there in about 60 seconds time. The link in the video description. You just don't think it can get any worse at United, and it does. See you in a minute.